Welcome to another No Fomo Charts live stream. We are live on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch. Today is September 7th, 2021. The Asia session for crypto trading has just begun. And I'm streaming today because it's a unique circumstance. We have the flash crash today. That's why I'm streaming. So I will be going through most of the cryptos, Bitcoin and altcoins, I mean, just to get some support and resistance levels and to answer any questions people might have. So first off, let's start with Bitcoin. Okay. Here's the thing with flash crashes like this. Okay. It's technical analysis first. So we don't have to always understand why something is crashing or why something is rallying, right? But as technical analysts, we need to have our levels on our chart set and ready to go. So I clean this chart, okay? And now we're going to start with some additional TA. So first thing I would do, okay, I'm on a Bitcoin USD daily chart on the Bitfinex exchange, just because this has some old data. Bitfinex exchange, okay. So what I would do is set the resistance right away, okay? So obviously the resistance, 52,798, all right? I'm going to draw that in gray so you guys can see that. There, resistance on the top. Now, the mega support for now, you see this bottom candle wick down here for today's flash crash right here. Okay, so 43,000 basically is that bottom resistance. Excuse me, is that bottom support down here, bottom support down here, and resistance up top. All right. Now we did have a trend line, okay, and it was violated today, obviously. Okay. And also, there was also a resistance trend line on the top side. All right, so now we could see the pattern that was forming previously. It was this kind of upward sloping wedge, okay? And then we had El Salvador sell the news event, stop losses being triggered, shorts attacking, right? Bots algorithm shorting, and that's why we got this way oversold wick down here with the bounce. Okay, there was a recovery, right? The 10% bounce this morning, earlier today, but then the Asia session has just opened and it's very mixed right now. Okay, so we'll go intraday to check things out. So again, just having these two support levels in this situation to me is not enough. What we have to do is you get your Fibonacci up. Okay, you get your Fibonacci retracement up from close to close, right? There's no real extreme wick on the top, so I'm going to do from close to close Fibonacci, right? So what happened? We tested the 382 Fibonacci support level. Can you see that right here? Okay, the flash crash. Okay, so first off, if you check the news, it's the El Salvador, the country, El Salvador. Actually, I have to read the question because nobody can see the question. So the question is, could you repeat all the things that influenced the flash crash again? So first off would be El Salvador country launching their countrywide Bitcoin adoption that started today. Their wallet started today for the whole country. And so that's a sell the news event because we know that somewhere back here, was it here or here, El Salvador announced that they would be switching to Bitcoin. So today marks the end of that event. The event is over. So therefore, this relief rally would psychologically be over. Because if they announced the start of it somewhere over here, I don't remember exactly, but it was way back here. It contributed to this rally. It might have been exactly right here in July or August. And with the announcement that it's launching today and this morning, that would mark the end of that event. Also, yes, the over leveraged traders, right? It's basically a long squeeze. It's the reverse of a short squeeze, long squeeze. Too many longs in the market supply demand imbalance, fear, uncertainty, doubt. There's other technical reasons I'll show you as well, but someone was asking for like fundamental reasons. Um, so that's some of those reasons, right? If you want to look at technical, let me bring it up. Actually, let me finish this chart first. And there was over leveraged traders because if you check the news as well, massive liquidations today, massive liquidations, right? But again, it depends on who you are in the market. If someone's a day trader, a swing trader, or an investor or a hodler. To a hodler, today it doesn't matter. To a swing trader, it depends on where you entered. And a day trader, if you're even able to trade today, right? Because exchange is getting order entry problems, like always, and that always happens when there's a massive flash crash like May 19 on the which I was able to trade, right? But today's different. You feel it. We're not getting. We have to wait maybe one day to watch this. That's why traders are a little tepid right now. The market's a little tepid. They're waiting for it. Are we going to get this repeat? We're going to get a bull recovery bounce. We have to wait for it and watch that. Another question. The other reason I caught my attention was the bots. Could you detail, please? Okay, so the bots. So a lot of what is it? A lot of stock trading and crypto trading, day trading, is actually done by algorithms and bots. So what happened? What contributed to like May 19, right? It's everything we just listed. It's basically it's like dominoes. If you think about dominoes, right, or Jenga, the game, if one piece falls, a lot of pieces are going to fall, and then it's going to contribute to a crash. It's like a snowball effect, right? Things snowballing down. It starts off a little bit and then gets, big like that, right? So it's just the fear, uncertainty, doubt combined with too many longs, stop losses getting triggered on the way down as the price goes down, then bots and algorithms, not all of them, but some of them are programmed to when the market does XYZ, they're going to short. So that could contribute it as well. Massive liquidations on certain overseas exchanges to basically stop people out of the market and panic. Maybe some people woke up tomorrow and just panicked and sold, right? So that happened. So sometimes when you get a really, really super overextended downside crash like that, those are just some of the factors that's going in to that. And it depends. If someone's a super bull, like the El Salvador president said, he bought the dip today. Okay, he bought this dip somewhere in here. And I'm sure other bull traders did as well. But the only thing we have to watch out for is, again, on my previous analysis from yesterday, you can see my idea is, does this really mark the top of this lower high on the weekly right here? Okay, I have to highlight it in blue, right? Because yes, there is this rally in the weekly, right? But if this is lower low, this could just be a lower high and stop right there. So that's why the market is mixed right now. Because on a longer term time frame, did we just establish the lower high, meaning 52,000 is we're not going to go higher than that? Is that possible? It's possible. And is this the beginning of a downtrend? From a bear point of view, maybe, right? It's just one weekly candle. So, but we have gotten stuck here for 2 weeks in a row. But this weekly candle's not done yet, so I'm not going to call that. That's not official call. So we just had one official test of 52,000. The bull case would be the reverse of that would be, well, we just need to set a weekly higher low, right? So higher high, higher low, higher high. So anything technically above 40,000 could still be a weekly higher low, and bulls could still save the day by the end of this year to retest that 65,000. So this idea is in my my profile if you want to check that out. But right now I need to focus on intraday because a lot of traders got wrecked today. So question, will it reach 23,000 price area? It's possible. it's possible. If we look at this Fibonacci retrace, 23,000 would basically be the 1272 to the downside. That could definitely happen. It's possible if this starts downtrending though, because what I'm expecting, what usually happens with flash crashes, if the market is not completely in fear mode, is eventually we might get a little bounce, right? You see this trend line now resistance here, right? We might test the 236 level of like Bitcoin 47,000, which we just did this morning. But if we get a little bull relief bounce, right, we might test even 50,000 just one last time, possible. Just like May 19th, right here. I'm looking at this spot. I don't know if you can see it. For people who don't remember May 19th, right, we had the super flash crash, same thing, rallied 25%. It's different though. 25% in one day, and then the next day we went an additional 15% up. And then we crashed back down, again. So I'm just expecting volatility in this market for the next for like this whole week. But if we do look at intraday, which we will in a minute here in a couple minutes, we are a little oversold on a lot of RSI on the time frames. So eventually we should see a bounce. It might not be a big bounce because the bounce this morning was only like almost 9-10%. So it's like maybe we'll see a 5% bounce. That's a lot still. That would bring us up to like almost 50,000, 49,000. But your question too, will it reach 23,000 area? Well, it's probably not going to just go like that, right? Markets almost never do that unless there's an extreme problem. What needs to happen is if this is a top, right, and it's going to start downtrending, the trend needs to change on the daily. It's going to change on 1 hour, 4 hour, 15 minutes. It's already changed on the 5 minute and 1 minute, but on the daily it needs to do this: lower low, which we just had today, form a lower high at some point. And if it's really going to downtrend, another lower low, lower high like this, and step down over time, maybe not this clean, but eventually to hit here. We're probably going to see some support right here at 30,000 from previous, right? You're probably going to see some buyers come in at 618 level here, 38,000, and maybe even a 50% retrace bounce of 41,000. But long-term target, like in my idea, is if this is that weekly lower high and we're getting stuck right here, it needs to start downtrending for us to get a real bear breakdown, for bears to take control down. So we just need to watch this week for that price action. If someone's an investor, longer term investor, swing trader, right? This is still a pretty good entry right here at the bottom right here. If someone is able to catch that 43,000. But again, it's about trend. We're still weekly, still okay. The daily trend is in jeopardy right now, is at risk right now. But the weekly is still fine for now, because we only have 1 day of 2 days of price action within that. So we have to see next Sunday, basically what happens next Monday, how this weekly candle closes. But daily, it needs to bounce up. Bulls need to come back, right, somewhere within the next 24 hours to 48 hours and buy this dip and need to really push it back up. Okay, so let's push into intraday analysis. All right, so let's bring up some tools, which is useful. Bring up some EMAs. Okay, my EMAs look kind of really thick today. The chart changed, but basically short-term EMAs were violated. The 50 EMA was tested. The 100 EMA was finally tested, right? So this is an interesting setup as well, because if this golden cross on the EMA is real, then at some point we will need to test these EMAs, 50, 100, 200 EMA. And how do I know this? It happens all the time. It's a popular setup right here after the COVID-19 crash, right? The rally, but it's because we're so low in price. But if you look at this golden cross here in the EMAs, right, it's tested. Bitcoin back then also crashed 20% in 4 days, negative 20% in 4 days, to test that 200 EMA. It happened here again. Negative 20% over 1 month to basically test 100 to 200. It's just tragic. Okay. It's just tragic that we flash crashed that much in one day, though. That's the problem. Negative 20% of almost negative 20%, 19% in one day is pretty bad. So, all right, let's get into the intraday so we could get some short-term targets. And the question is, do I have a possible percentage probability of a bounce within 24 hours? To me, um, the way I look at it is just like this. So what's going to increase the percentage probability or just the probability of a bounce within one day is how oversold are we on every single time frame. So I'm talking about RSI. So I probably can't give an actual percentage, but we can do like probability just if there's a lot of evidence, then it's probably going to happen within 1 to 2 days. So let's go here. So I'm going to zoom in at 4 hours with a short-term EMA. All right, so we know just looking at 4 hours price, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, let me draw it, higher high, HL, HH, HL, HH, HL, HH, barely a HL, higher low, right? So holding, we're closed to hold this support level right here, 46 to 47,000 right there. So we know that 4 hour uptrend is barely holding on and we're basically flagging to the side right now. But we did have a RSI reset on the 4 hours. Okay, there's no positive divergence yet. It's still forming. So 4 hours is not really ready to go yet. 1 hours though is oversold. And this is what I was saying last night of a potential warning to people in the early of my stream yesterday is we did have this bearish RSI divergence just 1 day ago, 24 hours ago. And I was telling that to my stream. We have double bearish divergence. So this was forecastable. Not the exact, how bad it was going to be, but there was basically it was going to go down. There were signs from yesterday night on the 1 hour. All right. So, but 1 hour though is not super oversold in the teens, right? It did get to 14, but I've seen the RSI get much lower than that when we have extreme, right? So we do have a little bit of bullish divergence, just a little bit. Okay, we do have this small baby double bottom. Is the sound on? Wait, can you guys hear my mic? Did my mic turn off? Hold on. Looks like my mic is still on. I think people can hear me. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we do have this double bottom right here at 46,520. Okay, so that's like the only positive thing that we have going for us right now on the 1 hour chart is this low purple RSI, this momentum building. But again, it's not perfect because I've seen this setup happen before and we fail again, right? So it depends on the psychology. To me, it's more about the psychology of the market is how afraid are people? How afraid are people in the market right now? And, you know, what low price will people be like, oh, this is a great discount, I need to buy now, right? So for your sound, you might have to turn the volume up on the trading view. There's like a little volume icon. It might be muted. I might have to turn the volume slider up, or maybe your computer's muted. But I think most people can hear me. It looks like my microphone is on. So yes, for 1 hour, there's that. Also, let me bring up Bollinger Band because sometimes when we have Bollinger Bands, right? So obviously the first bounce that happened went way outside that Bollinger Band. So obviously bots are just gonna totally buy that. Okay. So now we're consolidating just straight to the right side. Consolidating straight to the right side. We're getting a little bit of a baby bounce, right? Right when I started the stream is 46,000. Okay. And now we're at 47,000. That's good to see. That's good to see. This double bottom on the 1 hour is good to see. But the question is, okay, where would the target be? Well, these EMAs to the top side, any of these EMAs, the first top side target would be 47,586. 48,401, 49,000. That might be getting a little too high. And then the retest of this yellow trend line up here, the 50,000 basically, which would be the, okay, great, which would be the 50 EMA to the top side, right? So what bulls have to prove within the next 24 to 48 hours, okay, is bulls need to buy, okay? That's the problem. And traders need to not like people need to stop selling. Humans need to stop selling, right, out of fear and actually buy this dip, okay? But the problem is though, again, the long-term time frame is did we just top out? And this is going to be the start of the lower low, lower high pattern, right? Because on the 4 hours, if that's going to happen, it needs to bounce to set the lower high from here, set the lower high, and then go down again, and then use this as the resistance and do like this, step down, essentially, like that. So this could form this bounce within sometime this week, right? So on the 1 hours, it is downtrending technically, right? Lower low, lower high, super lower temporary low, lower high. So now the question is, how high is this lower high going to go right here? Okay, in the blue circle. So anywhere between 50,000 and 47,000, 47 to 50,000 is the range. So we know that when we get flash crashes, though, we just have this perfect RSI reset. A lot of bots will buy this RSI reset, the algorithms. I mean, they bought the bottom, so they're holding it from here right now. So they're already in the green. The bots algorithms are already in the green. They bought this wick. So now we're consolidating. Everyone is just like holding their breath, so to speak, in the market, just watching. Are we going to get a lower low? That's totally could happen, right? If some hedge fund or institution keeps panic selling and shorting, then we're going to see more pain, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That could happen. But if we're going to reverse here and get a trend change, we need to see this bounce up, retest that support, and go up one more time. All right, so how can we even get even more clues? Go even further intraday, 15 minutes. It's getting a little messy now, so I'll turn this off. It's getting a little messy. All right, so this is that price of the flash crash. You can see here, we actually had a head and shoulders pattern right here at the 52,000. This is also contributing technically why we crashed. It's the start of the pullback. So it's only 1%, but still, somebody took real advantage of that. Okay, triggered and liquidations, right? So there was a little bit of a warning sign on 15-minute. I mean, it's hard to always catch those, but you have the head and shoulders, 15-minute right here, and then loss of momentum, bearish divergence on a 15-minute last night at around midnight my time. So also the MACD, you can see the loss of momentum visually on this MACD as well. But that was yesterday. So what's happening today, right now, live, is the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So you notice here, traders are watching for this. Is this going to repeat like right now? You see this? Where it's crash, consolidate, very small bounce, consolidation to the side, loss of support, crash one more time. So what we really need to watch out for is the 46,000 level. The loss of this potential support will be a huge problem. I'll change the color to something brighter so you can see, like put it in pink. The loss of the pink line would be bad. Okay. Let me put the blue line up here. The bright blue line on the top would be our, right? Would be our bounce, right? You can measure this, right? So 2%, 2% from the breakout would bring us up to 48,000, right? So ideally right now is not the exact perfect entry, because when it flash crashed to 43, that's the exact perfect day trading entry. If people were able to catch that. And the RSI was 10, right? So the good thing technically we have here on the charts is the MACD is open, the EMAs, you see this here on the bottom. MACD is open, RSI has bounced. Okay, this is a little risky though on the 15-minute, but the fact that those two are open is good. So now you can see the 15-minute trying to make higher low, higher high trend change, right? We just need to break above 47,000 and continue this 15-minute uptrend to set that higher low on the 1 hours. Does that make sense? It needs to go up. Get rid of this box. It needs to go up, maybe pull back one more time and redo this, right? If we're going to trend change up. Okay, could even get a little more clues on the 5-minute. Just last one, 5 minutes. See, we're just stuck between these two levels right now, 47,000 and 46,000, basically, right? Bulls trying very tepidly, very cautiously to trend change up. Trend change up. So, in a nutshell, if we're going to go up in price tomorrow, or let's say this whole week, right? It's a short trading week. We will have to see uptrend changes on the short-term time frames and cascade that effect into the next higher time frame. Does that make sense? So 5-minute has to start uptrending over time, right? You even see there's a baby up cross on the EMAs. So traders are just kind of like, okay, maybe we can make this happen, right? 5-minute EMA up cross, right? This hasn't happened yet, but 15-minute, if this EMA is going to go cross up, this price has to go up like as such. Then the EMA will up cross on the 15-minute. On the 1 hours, it has a lot of work to do, but the 1 hours is probably where we're going to see the balance and up to one of these EMAs. So like 48,000, 47,000, 48,000, 49,000, 50,000 are the targets on the way up. It's just a matter of how far can the bulls push it before saying, okay, enough, and then they're going to take their profits as day traders. Okay, so let's take a look. Someone had a comment here. The 4-hour chart. Yeah, so if somebody's a swing trader, right, instead of just trying to make a 1-2%, is the larger lower high target is that $50,000, which is the 20 and 50-day EMAs, the moving averages basically up here in the 49,000 to 50,000 range. So bulls kind of have a lot of work to do, like day traders and swing traders. It's just a matter of watching out for the intraday trend changes. Okay, because if you just stare at a day chart all day long, you might have trouble, right? Because it's like, how do I know what's going to happen today? So when we have super volatility like today, that's when I really pull out the intraday and start analyzing the price. Even if you don't know anything about RSI and MACD, or you don't even have it, right? It's just about trend change. Even if you turn the EMAs off, although you might need to want to use it, but in this case, but even right here, 15-minute targets. It's kind of messy, but you can see even on the 15-minute, which coincides with the 4-hour chart, is right. These moving averages. What price is it? 47,600, 49,000, 50,000 as these three topside targets. Okay, so in conclusion, let me draw this on Bitcoin, and we'll move to some altcoins. I'll use a 1-hour chart because that's kind of that middle ground between day traders and swing traders. So the support we have to be concerned with is 46,500 on the downside. And then 47,000 is our immediate support, like right now. It's kind of funny, like as I'm talking, the intraday bull rally is attempting to go. It's kind of interesting. But the topside targets would be, like if I were to trade this, for example, right now, this is just educational though, excuse me, this is not financial advice, but I would do a, and yes, it would be lower high technically. So the only way so it would be a lower high bounce, to clarify to everyone. Lower high bounce, right? Maybe a 3%, 3-to-1 trade or 2-to-1 trade. right? Risk 1.5%. First target 3% here at 48,500. Second target 50,000, 6%. And we just have to watch for the price action. Okay, on the candles, it turned into like a symmetrical triangle, like that, for more technical evidence. Okay, you measure this thingy, 3%. So 3% would take us right up to 48,338, this middle gray bar here. All right, so, but what would make me concerned is, again, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. But then if we just top out there and lose this bottom support, then we're probably in trouble. So hope that helps. And let's see how much time we spent on that. 30 minutes on Bitcoin is probably talked all we can about that. So let's just do some altcoins like really fast. We'll just get some levels. Okay, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask on crypto. We're just going to move on here. So Ethereum. Let's just get support and resistance up. Resistance, basically 4,000 right there. The flash crash support, 3,000. So then the middle of that's obviously 3,500 where we are right now. And finding the support. Okay, so you could see the trend line violated. Let me turn the emails off. You could see the trend line violated, right? And this trend line is a lot closer than the Bitcoin trend line. And Ethereum has been kind of a lead bull. So I would watch this a little closely as well. Because it topped out on the left side here. So there's obvious resistance here in the yellow box. Okay. So once we see that visually, okay, where would the next support be? Down here at 2,342. Then probably 2,000. Okay, and then the obvious 1,700 down there on the bottom. So now that we have some trend lines on, right, you could also see that upward wedge kind of steep, and then we had the bear break today, but it's still holding right under it. So bulls have proving to do to maintain the uptrend, which started here. Higher high, higher low, HH, HL, higher high. If this closes, which it did, okay, higher low still, right, even though it looks really, really bad. So for now, it's still technically a higher low unless it stops here within the next week or so and pulls down. Then the lower high is set. And then we might see some downtrending pain ensue. Right? So very critical price action to watch out for. All right. Let's take a quick glance as well. You can see here just visually on the RSI, bearish divergence. This is up, this is down. Red flag, down, red flag. Maybe this comment. 3285. Let's see, where's 3285? Right here. Okay. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, that's right in the middle of this price action. So let me go in a little more. I see the wick. Okay. So yeah, so for right now, 3356 is that short-term support. Yes, I'll go down all of them. We did find that temporary support 3369. So it looks like Ethereum is trying to bounce, but you know the resistance is so close. Right here, 3584, 3500. How many percent is that? I'll draw a box for you to see. That's only 1 to 3% to the top side. And if you only stop loss on this candle, it's 3. So the risk to reward is not that amazing because the Ethereum resistance is right there. Just putting that out there. And again, we just got to watch for the trend. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. If it does go lower low, it'll probably hit that 3,200 level again, 3,200 again. But if it doesn't, it'll just kind of stay up here. I mean, at a really amazing bull case scenario, it'll push back into the trend line, the yellow trend line, retest that support, and then retest 4,000. But that we need some strong bull power for that to happen. For now, because that hasn't happened yet, we might just get the bounce right into the yellow line, the resistance, and pull back down. And then bulls are going to have to decide, are we going to trend change it up or not? All right, so I hope another opportunity will arise for you. Okay. So those are the levels that I'm watching for, and we'll just stay on a daily just so we get the big levels, price levels up. So again, is this just a low, higher low, right? Basically, are we still going to uptrend on Ethereum? I hope so, right? As a bull, right? Because of those reasons, low RSI, bounce. We're not crashing into the Asia session, but that's because the Asia session has changed with like the miners in China and stuff. So it's different now, but still, I'm glad we're not crashing down another -10 to -20% right now. Okay, so this little bit of green. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. The question is how high is it going to go today? Next 24 hours from now, how high is this thing going to go? We had that resistance 3573, the support 3313. So we just really want to watch out for there. Also, it's kind of choppy, so even for me, it's like no one can really exactly perfectly tell what's going to happen. There's no like clean, super clean symmetrical triangle or anything like that. But that's what happens with these flash crashes. Maybe the only thing here was the little wedge, the pennant, 7%. So if this is real, 7% would bring us up to 3637. Okay, if that's real, bull target. If this is real, then the stop loss would be like 3 to get at least a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. It looks like Ethereum bulls try to do that. But I would be careful though, because there's that hidden resistance trend line on the top side. You see that? So again, it's very mixed right now. Bulls really need to come in today and just plow through all these resistances. Powerful bull style. All right. So we just watch for that. Watch for that in the price. Next, go down here. We'll skip around a little bit. We'll just do a request. So Cash and Litecoin. Let's do Bitcoin Cash really fast. Using Bitstamp today. Bitcoin Cash. Actually, this doesn't have enough data for me. There we go. Bitfinex. No, wrong chart. Let's just use this one. BCH USD. Bitstamp $1. I mean, 1 day US dollar. Let's get the resistance levels going on here. All right. So cash looks like BTC USD. And again, resistance right here, 789. I'm going to round the numbers for the stream. 706 resistance. Support 622, 544, 464, 396. One more big resistance on top, like 1,000. Okay, we'll just leave that one there for now. So also trend lines on the bottom side. Get it clean. So again, just violated to the downside. Bear break to the downside. Everything's going to look sort of similar with slight differences. So it was that upward wedge. Alrighty. And higher high, higher low. Right? This price area, 600 to 650, very critical level of support for Bitcoin Cash. So cash bounce was a little larger, 15% bounce up. And again, just looking at the daily chart, it is difficult to see like, okay, exactly what's happening with the price action. It just looks like a little dot of red. So that's why we need to look intraday of the price at least. But just to highlight this is there was that bearish divergence on the daily chart. It was there the whole time. So the warning sign was there that a pullback was happening on cash on the day chart. So we just quickly going into 4 hours, just like Ethereum. Okay, the RSI is not in the teens, right? So it's possible things could keep going down. The 1 hour did hit that low RSI with a little bit of bull momentum on the MACD building. All right, 15 minutes is the 15-minute bounce is halfway underway. But on this, just like Ethereum, I would draw the upper trend line. Now there's that resistance on the top, and it's right there. It's literally right there, touching it right now. So the next day, 24 hours, is really going to be critical. The only thing good is technically the MACD EMAs are open. That's good. And then I would even do probably draw something here. It's not the cleanest triangle, but consolidation to the sideways. Measure that. At least a plus or minus 4% move. So plus 4% would bring us to this gray support 705. Let me change the color to blue. 705. If we have a breakdown, negative 4% will bring us back down to the previous support here in the blue. So those are the two ranges we're playing between on cash right now. And it looks like a baby trend change is starting. Higher high, higher low. We need to break through here. Higher high, break through the trend line, resistance. And this applies to Ethereum too. So the same like psychology in the price needs to happen, the trend change. Then come back down to test that support and then test this resistance up here. So we would hit the 4% target, come back down, and then try to maybe retest that if that's going to happen. Bull case. Bear case, here, reject from here, try to maybe bounce on the support and fail. So that's the bear case that could happen. So I want to watch out for that. But those are the levels you're playing between at the time of this live stream. Okay, that's cash. Litecoin. Litecoin. Let me try to stay on the same exchange for same data. So, okay, resistance. We're on Litecoin now. LTC USD. 1 day chart Bitstamp exchange. Resistance at 235. Resistance at 187. Support at 166. Support 141. 118. 105. Supports. One more mega resistance at like 280. Probably 250 in there as well, but we got rejected from there. Okay, also what happened? What happened here with Litecoin? So Litecoin, there wasn't so much bearish divergence like on the RSI and the MACD compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So although this did look kind of like a suspicious head and shoulders here into a W, right, into this recovery, but maybe somebody could have said, well, double top like that on the MACD histogram. So there was a little bit of a warning sign there. But Litecoin just tracking Bitcoin's action. All right, so you get the trend. Again, it's going to look similar. This could have explained it as well, right here on this, is that you see the psychology here in the price. We broke out above this top side trendline resistance, and for 3 days tried to rally. See, the shooting star might have been the first clue. Let me zoom in. Right there on September 4th, the shooting star could have been the clue because we broke up above there, retested. Okay, that's fine. Bull break up, that's fine, that's normal. But then bear break down yesterday. Okay, so hesitating up there, hesitation. So that's basically up down, right? And it made a V shape reversal. So unfortunate that happened for Litecoin, but that might have been a very, very sensitive clue. But if you zoom in probably to the 4 hours and 1 hours, there's probably something there. So on the 4 hours, you could see the bearish divergence reversal signal. The 1 hour, you could see a little bit of a dirty head and shoulders, but a much more clear loss of RSI momentum if somebody's sensitive to that, right? But you have to really, really be tracking the price and looking at it a certain way. So this, if this is a head and shoulders, right, that's 9% down, and we went double the target, 18%. So somebody might have seen that as a head and shoulders pattern, bearish pattern on Litecoin for day trading and swing trading. But for levels, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So again, Litecoin, the resistance is so close right there at 186, 180 to 185. It's so close. So it would make sense why, we're not going to power through it in one day unless bulls really come in. This is still good though, because again, when you have lots of fear, uncertainty, doubt, for the charts, what's going to save us are some of these technical indicators that increases the probability chance that we're going to see a bounce, right? Like if the RSI is super high at 90, there's less chance that it's going to bounce up like crazy unless we get massive FOMO in the world, right? But if things pull back down and stay low RSI enough, right? I've seen it time and time again that eventually it could be like a month from now, it could be weeks, maybe not in one day, but right, you might see that lower high being set, right? This is not going to stay down here forever because bots and experienced traders and oversold strategy traders are going to buy this at some point. So well, the question is, how high is the bounce going to go? If there's even going to be one. This looks like some kind of bear flag, right? Little dirty bear flag, but it's there. So 3 to 7%. Okay. 3 to 7%. The first target is basically the gray line. The second target would be 7%, 192 up there. But if we have a 3 to 7% bust down 171 from the downside target at 162. I'm going to erase this middle one. So bull targets, bear target, bear target. All right. So example risk to reward right now, which is, it's risky, but somebody's doing it, right? Is 2 to 1 stop, 2 to 1 risk to reward ratio. 6% target on top, or even a little bit less, like a 5% or 4%. Educational only, right? But this is getting rejected from this top side trend line right now. So, it's not actually the greatest spot to try to long. A better spot would be at a support level, right? So somewhere along this bottom side, yellow line, or anywhere here for a long entry. Because playing breakouts can fail because, again, there's double resistance. There's this resistance and this resistance. There's literally two resistances in the blue circle. So it's just a matter of, all right, our day traders, are bulls going to trend change today or not? That's the problem. So those are the levels on Litecoin. Let me do Cardano and Binance because those are the number 3 and 4 coins by market cap. So hope that answers your question if you're still here. Cardano. Let me see how many people are there. Oh, there's people here. Okay. Cardano. Let's do Cardano. Let me use a Bittrex one to get some old price targets. So this is what I drew in a previous class, and it's coming to fruition, right? You had this upper trend line, okay, as resistance, and you had the break, the bull break. We had support down here in this prior blue, and then we basically called it somewhere in this, it's not exactly, but close enough. Great, good to hear. Glad it's helping. And so for Cardano, we had this, general target. It didn't really hit the $1.84 support level yet, but $2 support is basically that mega bounce down level. Excuse me, mega bear target. So there's other support levels in here like 221, 241, right? So I'm going to erase the previous setup, just showing that as an example. All right, so what I would do in this case is, so we know we have a swing low and a swing high. I will get my Fibonacci retracement tool up right away. I'm going to turn log scale off so we can see, right? And basically, if you notice, these gray lines are the Fibonacci lines. So even before I did Fibonacci, it still works, right? So we could erase those. Now we get clean pictures, right? So we hit that 50% retrace, bounced up to the 382, and now we're testing the 236 on Fibonacci. Okay? Just really easy to get those up. So we have some kind of support and resistance price levels that you could play off of. And very, very steep trend lines. This probably doesn't go out that much. I'll be surprised if it does, but no, it does. Nice. So very, very steep, super upward trend wedge. So again, for a Cardano, this does looks like some kind of topping out action, right? Because it's at all-time highs, and you have basically a triple top on Cardano. I'll draw in a box, right? Like how many times did that get rejected? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8, 9 times. So that makes sense why we're rejecting down from there. So Cardano, I'm not expecting a huge bounce on Cardano just because it already rallied from the breakout 100% to 150%. So Cardano's a different situation because it rallied so much. So what I would be watching for Cardano is, and you can see here clearly, the RSI clearly losing momentum as this is going up. Clearly losing. You actually had a MACD down cross 5 days ago, 4 days ago. So I'm not surprised on Cardano action. Same thing here, bearish divergence. The only thing going for Cardano right now is this low oversold purple, but we can't just trust in one low purple RSI bounce. Right? That's not how really the RSI works. This would make more sense. You see that, the double bottom of the RSI right there? Okay, that makes more sense. That's why people knew how to buy this with the 50% Fibonacci spot. That's how traders knew this is exactly where they need to buy. Okay, we'll check those two. Right? So lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So Cardano already establishing its lower high on the 1 hour chart on Bittrex. So again, Cardano's much more steep in the price action and little more problematic on the charts. Right? Also, you can see here there's this triangle. Like if you're an intraday trader or swing trader, you could draw this and be like, okay, we lost that support. Yes. So this is a good question we have here. Why were some alts, such as SOL, hardly affected by the BTC dump? Is it just FOMO keeping it up? So, in my experience trading and investing in crypto and stocks, there's always like a few, one or two cryptos and stocks that if the market crashes, there's like one or two assets that, give me 1 second. So, when the market crashes, there's usually one or two assets that people pile into because they're losing money. And if they have capital or if they sold everything, like they got stopped out, people are looking for the bounce. Like, what's going to bounce? What's going to bounce? Right. And I did notice that Solano, Sol, and what else bounced today? I think Sol was the only big bounce winner. It went like 40% in the bounce. Absolutely beautiful bounce. Right. So Sol is just a hot crypto for that. So basically, that's it's simple as that. Like in May 19, Doge was the hot altcoin that bounced very, very high up. There's one more. I don't remember if it was like, might have been Harmony One coin as well. But some altcoins, it's just like people, it's like people's favorite backup um, coin. But we'll look at SOL because what happened is SOL when I glanced at it today, crashed down, but it crashed down to an EMA support. So it crashed down to a very, very obvious support level, and traders were like, oh, let's just buy that right there to bounce. So we'll look at that as well. Cardano, we'll just do this more faster then. So again, Cardano, bear break, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So all that remains to be seen is there going to be is there going to be bull follow through, and are we going to see big bulls right here? You see right here, somebody bought a lot of green right there, but we need more volume. Okay. So keeping in mind that applies to all cryptos that I'm going to be talking about today. We need bull volume. Like we need people to come back, traders to say, here we go, bull relief rally, try to make some money back, or try to keep the uptrend alive, right? But there is mixed evidence on that. Again, are we setting that weekly lower high? Well, not on this chart, but on the Bitcoin chart, right? Are we setting that weekly lower high? We're going to get stuck here and rejected, and boom, it's game over, right? For now, for traders, we're going to pull back on Bitcoin. It's a lot that's questionable. So we just finish up the numbers on ADA. We'll move on. So as you can see, bearish divergence on Cardano, even on the weekly. So daily really confirmed it. But the good thing is we have an RSI reset. It's right at 50. So there's a chance we could bounce back up. So in a bullish case scenario, it would retest 275. Okay, so let me get some solid numbers before we move on. 275 to the top side. We'll put it in bright pink. 275 as a bull target, and downside target $2. Middle target like right here, 233. Support. So either way the market's going to go, those are the numbers. Okay. We just very, very quickly do Binance Coin, because that's what I was saying I was going to do. Very, very quickly. Binance Coin to do USDT. Very, very quickly. All right, so Binance Coin actually had a double top. Okay, so this right off the bat, super obvious. Super obvious. Double top, that's bad. And then we lost the MACD already starting from September 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to me, it's no surprise that Binance Coin crashed as well. 7% measurement, it went exactly 14% or more, right? Went 3 times the target, but we closed at about 7% down, 9%, 7% down. So that makes perfect sense why that would happen technically. Right here, trend line. Here, top side. Again, when you have a double top like that, it makes it a little bit more difficult, but to get a relief rally going on a bounce. But interesting enough that Binance is below the Bollinger Band right now and testing and holding the 1500 EMA averages. So just very, very quickly, the top side bounce could be anywhere from 450 to like 466 if we're just playing off EMAs, a downside target like 392 and 369 down there. All right, so bull targets would be up here on the top, bear targets on the bottom here. And then it's just a matter of that trend change. But again, it's death crossing on a lot of these shorter term time frames. So we really, really need bulls to come in and save the day if it's going to happen. If not, the bearish pattern of just getting rejected from EMAs is going to happen on almost every altcoin, right? So it could just go low, bounce, and then crash one more time, right? If not, low, high, low, here, higher, low. We need to do that to trend change and then break through every single EMA. We need volume though. Somebody bought here, okay? Traders buy here and they're like done for today. Probably, like half of them. The American traders and European traders, they're done. So it's up to Asian traders and the European traders overnight to really say, okay, are we going to trend change up or not? All right, so key levels, 426, resistance, 400 support on Binance. Very, very simple like that. Short-term intraday. Question, how often do I stream? Usually I only stream on Saturdays. But today, because of what happened, I decided to stream today, just to get people some levels and share some information here. And again, this is just educational, everybody. So just take a quick second here just to let people know my social media links are in my profile. So I am streaming live on YouTube, TradingView, and Twitch right now. I also have a free Discord group that I just recently started. So I post some of my stock chart ideas, crypto chart ideas in there, the live stream link. And then if you have requests throughout the week for my Saturday video, that's why I made that Discord group. So you could just type it in there if you can't make the Saturday stream, which is usually in the afternoon, nighttime in my time zone, in USA time zone. And I have a very, very basic free watch list in there and a community general chat. So I have that Discord group that I'm starting. Um, it's just to create a community. The Discord is free right now. Probably, I'm going to be transparent. You know what I mean? I'll probably start a paid section further down the line, but for now it's free. So if you want to just go ahead and join that, it's free for everybody right now. And I'm just sharing some knowledge and information right here. So, and also, thank you for watching, everybody. And I am a full-time trader and investor, so that's why I'm only really doing my stream on Saturdays, because the stock market would be closed, so we could actually like calmly look at it. And then, crypto not all the time goes up on Saturday. You know what I mean? Like traders take a break sometimes on Saturdays. So it's kind of like a good time to do a stream on Saturdays. Um, so yeah, it's just that information. Okay, so let me get to the let's do the so thanks so much for watching, everybody, and participating. There's 2 requests. Let's get SOL USD. SOL, yeah. So let's look at this. Let's get this. XRP as well. Okay, we'll look at these 3 in a row. So Solana. Okay, Solana is interesting, right? So we know that Solana has been uptrending. It's been the crypto darling for bulls for. This might not be the best chart. Let me check out a couple charts first. Which one has the most data? Yeah, let's just use Bitfinex. Actually, let's use Binance because it has one more year of data, so we can see. Okay, so first off, Solana went parabolic. Okay, Solana went parabolic. All right, and let's just start with right now today because people are wondering like why. Why was Solana the big winner? Well, first off, we know it's in a mega uptrend. Okay, bull uptrend. Right, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Right, but if you see right where we crashed down to was that EMA support level. So it's just simple as that. EMA support. Anytime this thing comes down to EMA support in the past month, bounces. Right here, it means different color. Right here, yellow bounce. Right here, yellow bounce. Right here, bounce. So it's just traders buying that dip, or it could be algorithms and bots programmed to buy that dip. Right there. Somebody saved it, whoever it was. Mostly traders. So the big resistance and support is resistance 195, support 126, and somewhere in the middle is probably that there's like a hidden one, right? We'll just put it at the bottom of that candle wick right now, 165. 165. So, but the problem is if we're objective about Solana, this is a suspicious warning flag. When you have a giant doji candle like that on the daily, it's kind of suspicious, right? Yes, this was the large shooting star on the red right here, but this one is suspicious on Solana. Okay, it's been up here high for so long, but it's topping out. It had a double top on the RSI just 4 days ago, right? MACD's still up, yes, and that happens, right? But the bear weekly divergence, I could see that happening on RSI already, right? And it's so high above the EMAs that this might happen again. on Solana. It's just that Solana is very, very popular, and people and some traders know it's like Solana's the one that you know if we're gonna have a mega balance, it's probably Solana. But how did we possibly were able to forecast this? There's that bearish divergence right there on the RSI, the 4 hours. 4 hours. Not much on the MACD histogram, but right there on RSI. It's hard to time it perfectly, but it's like if you see it on the chart last night for me, it was there. And it's like, okay, something bad might happen because it's just above the EMA so high. Okay. And then if we turn this off, this could be just, hitting 86, just high RSI. But it's tricky. There was a double top here in the price. Okay, you see this resistance here, and now we're on the 1 hour. Yeah, on the 1 hour. Boom, rejected so many times. And then so Solano had what we're trying to think of as the bull rally. Um, I'll just finish this really fast. So basically, we already had this massive uh, bull bounce. So 5 minute, right? If we go 15 minute in time, it's kind of hard to see, but if we really, really, really look at it, all right, there was a setup there. Okay, if somebody's really, really sensitive to the charts, and if you measure this thing, 6% triangle to 8%. Excuse me, no, that 6 to 12%, right? So then where do we go? The first one was 6%, the first red candle right here. Then the second candle went 15%. So those targets were hit triple, 18%, quadruple, 24%, right? So that explains that part. Okay, so those targets were hit. And then where was the support level? There was a previous, I mean, it destroyed a lot of previous supports, but, you know, it broke back up. And to see the trend change, you're going to have to go and way zoom in. So you're going to have to go to like probably a 1 minute for this, right? You can see the trend change. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what needs to happen on every single altcoin we're talking about today is you get a bear break on this 1 minute, right? So it's very sensitive traders. I was up this morning at my time, okay, trading stock market. Okay, I made gains today. And then you started to notice throughout the trading day is like, wait a second, crypto's crashing, right? So on the 1 minute, Sol USD, okay, is in complete bear control for today on a 1 minute. So what I'm saying needs to happen on these other altcoins is the trend change. This is the trend change happening in the candlesticks is you see lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That's downtrend. Then you get a little bit of that super oversold, like fast Bollinger Band piercing crash, right? Boom, exactly right there on the bottom in the blue. Okay, then bots, algorithms, traders are going to be like, that's the one. And then double bottom on RSI. Okay, we buy. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then you get that EMA up cross. You see that right there in the yellow, this indicator I used? Up cross, trend change. Even if you didn't have the EMAs, right? It's just higher high, higher low. And then someone could construe this as upside down head and shoulders on the 1 minute. And you measure that 29%. And people are like, boom, this is the one for today. 23%. So 23% from the breakout. Almost hit that target. Okay. Close enough. Close enough. Right? Just that general psychology. 15 to 20%, depending on which neckline you use. We almost made it. It stopped because it hit that resistance and people just put all their sell orders right there. But that's basically what happened to Solana. So there were technical reasons why Solana rallied. Because you don't see, we just went through like 6 cryptos. This didn't happen on any of them. It only happened on Solana. So Solana had a large rally and people noticed that which one is bouncing up the most and boom, they jump in onto the relief rally, the bounce back up. But the problem is we down crossed, choppy after that, right? So now you could probably draw a larger line on Solano. This one's tricky because you have to include that giant one on the bottom. There's an intermediate one here. I'll draw a whole bunch of trend lines. Right, there's also this previous one like that. So, but the general, you can still see the general angle is down though on a 15-minute, right? Lower low, lower high, super lower low, still lower high though. Higher low, higher high. So technically, the latest triangle that I should be using is the equilibrium triangle, the symmetrical triangle. Just because we verbally said it, so it's this triangle's in play right now. So if we measure that 3% to like 20%, so maybe 11, 12% average. So if we get a bull break again, we're going to retest this yellow line, the yellow box here, in the resistance. But if we have a 11% breakdown from a triangle, we are testing the bottom of the support again, the 151. All right, so those are the levels on Solano. But I hope that explains why. Technically, Solano bounced and others didn't because it had the price action and everybody jumped on it. So that's Solano. There's one more I missed. FTM. Okay, I'll try to do FTM faster. I'm assuming it's FTM USDT. Let's use Binance. FTM. All right. So for me, is because I'm in the USA, I don't have access to all the other smaller altcoins anymore. So I don't trade or even look at these anymore because in USA, I cannot trade it anymore. Let me get a sip of water really quick. Okay, but for people who are international, right, traders, just anybody not in the US, you probably have access to this if you're still on Binance. So let's check this out. All right, what happened on Phantom? All right, so sometimes you have an altcoin that just has so much upward bullish momentum, it doesn't matter what Bitcoin's doing in a certain sense, right? But we had this one candle just like Solana, okay? Boom, right there. Because all traders and bots, algorithms, they're just designed and everybody wants to make profits. So on the daily though, it's hard to understand like, okay, what happened? It probably came down to a short term um, EMA right here, 4 hours, boom, right there. You can see it piercing probably almost the 50. If you do a 1 hours, okay, it's holding the 100-day EMA. But again, if you really zoom in, because when you have massive um, volatility, 1 minute is probably going to save you for volatility. 5 minute, already right here. There's upside down head and shoulders on the RSI when it hit this low. It's hard on a 1 minute to hold, I mean, to time it perfectly. So you might need to use a 5 minute, right? To double check your work to be like, okay, excuse me, that's not the right time. Here it is, right? To double check your work and see that there on the RSI. And it was extreme volatility, but the upside down head and shoulders on the RSI is still there. And you can see just like SOL right here, the same problem happened. You had the bear break in the morning, so I'm going to highlight this right here. Okay, measure that pattern, phantom, 9-10% down, and then it just crashed down 30% actually. But it's a super out of the Bollinger Band. It's an extreme case. But I know people got wrecked right here because there's so much up and down right here. People got really hurt right there in their trading accounts right there on this early morning today, right? But if anybody would manage to get this bottom down here, just for technical reasons, like upside down head and shoulders outside this Bollinger Band, which usually doesn't happen all the time, right? And oversold bounce, only the brave of the brave are going to do that, right? And people already who know this coin really well, right? It's hard to pick the right ones always. But if somebody just happened to pick this one, right, you could see the huge amount of bull power that came back, the volume 22% in this altcoin, and then the trend changed from down to up. Okay. Also, there is the 1 minute or 5 minute upside down head and shoulders just on price alone. If you want to do it that way. Here, neckline, measure 25%. We didn't really get there, but we tried. Bulls tried 16%. Okay. And it kind of topped out because there's this trend line basically right there. You see that? So close enough, basically close enough. Close enough. Once it broke up above the EMAs and there's this little EMA up cross, some day traders at the end came in to get some nice 4 to 6, 8% profit. Excuse me. So let's see here. So if that explains it, I don't want to spend like too much time on one coin because FTM Phantom basically had the same action as SOL Solana. It's just these are the hot altcoins of the day for now. But again, if you look like how high it is right now, right? It's parabolic. It's parabolic. So might want to watch out for FTM. This might not be the end today, but that bearish divergence on the weekly is starting to form. FTM could keep going though. This could be just a flash crash warning signal though. So that's FTM. Okay, let me answer some questions here. What was the reason of yesterday's massive dip? If you're talking about like yesterday and today, it's some of the fundamental reasons. A sell the news event for the El Salvador country Bitcoin launch had some wallet issues this morning. Liquidations, too many longs in the market, leverage, over leveraged traders, people. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. Technicals that we just went over is on many of these altcoins on 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute. There were reversal signals for the very, very sensitive people to the charts. Um, However, we did not know it's going to come down, 20% in one day. But there was that warning signal there to swing traders and day traders that something bad is going to happen in the market. We just don't know how bad it's going to be. And we saw the evidence today. And then people just waking up, imagine you woke up at the morning or tonight and you saw your portfolio investments or your day trading all stop down. It's like, oh my gosh, there's that kind of emotional shock in the market. So anybody who didn't get stopped out is just going to wake up in the next like today or just and be totally shocked and surprised, like, oh my goodness, it's all over the news right now. CNBC, Bloomberg, right? International news. But for me as a trader, everything I've learned and for trading and investing is I don't get scared in these moments. Yes, there's the initial shock, but then it's like, boom, go into technical analyst mode, start analyzing support, resistance, trend. Where am I going to buy? What are the targets? Where's the momentum? Is there trend change? Those types of things are going on through my mind. So for stop loss. So sorry to hear that. It's days like this that being a day trader is terrible. Because you even heard, I read the news just right before I started this, is that exchanges went down. You know what I mean? Like they crashed, the orders were not working. It's 404 gateway era, even for me. And I'm like, it happens. So if you are experienced, like long-term trader and investor, we all know that basically, if you've been in the game long enough, you know that this happens sometimes, right? It just happened on May 19th. Exchanges were down. I couldn't even trade well on May 19th. I remember that on the flash crash. So that's why, partly why I started this group, No Fomo Charts, is I feel bad for the people who went long like yesterday. You know what I mean? Or like two just in the past week, people went long because that's not the greatest place to go long. It's very risky, right? Unless you're a day trader and you're like babysitting the position. But if you're like swing trader, and you're gonna walk away from the market like right now. It's risky, right? But again, so what I've learned from multiple crashes that I've lived through is if it's crashing hard, just try your hardest. Just try your hardest to manage risk, okay? And try to have the most patience you can. You know what I mean? Because we don't know where the bottom is going to be. And from my experience, you can kind of feel it in the market, like on SOL and FTM on the 1 minute. If you just live through this, where is it? Right here in the morning today, yesterday, today, right? If you live through this, right, you would know that if you have experience trading oversold or crashes, is the trend low, high, and when this happened, it's like boom, right here. The bears are firmly in control right here, right? So every time it touches the EMA, it's going to reject down most likely, right? So if somebody went long right here or didn't even use charts, like that's why they got stopped out a bunch of times. Or you know, you jumping in too fast, like on this first one, it's like, oh, right here, oversold, and then you buy that one. But if you leave it and you get stopped out, so you get stopped out one, two, three, right here. I could even see people getting stopped out like 8 times right here. So it's hard, right? So some people, depending on what strategy and style they're using, sometimes the best decision is just don't trade, right? Is wait for a trend change because the most aggressive traders were doing this on the left side here, right? Super conservative traders just didn't even do anything today. But safe traders waited for this side of the trend reversal, the higher high, higher low, and that's why you see volume picking up here, and they waited for the EMA cross here. So that's what I learned in terms of crashes, or if you're trying to day trade, is just try to have the patience and discipline to really, really wait for your setup or wait for you know this crash to end, right? This part to end. Um, Next question. What exchange do I trade crypto on? I trade on the American exchanges. I'll just say it like that. Just on American exchanges. There's only a couple of them, so it's really obvious what they are. Um, next question. Day trading versus long term. Pros and cons. Well, right off the bat, if you're a long term investor, let's say like you hold for years, right? Like somebody who bought Cardano 2, 3 years ago is not worrying about anything at all. If they bought Cardano at 10 cents, like let me bring up the chart. Well, Bitfinex, there might not be that much data. That's wrong chart. Bittrex, okay. If somebody bought Cardano here at the pandemic low at 3 cents, they are not affected by anything right now. Okay, so that's how you know. I don't want to risk my drawings, but that's how you know. Right, let me look at log scale. Somebody bought here at the way bottom, they're fine. Okay, but the problem is if somebody bought Cardano yesterday, they're not fine. You know what I mean? If they bought at a high relative price. So day trading, pros and cons. Day trading is you don't have to risk your money in the market for long periods of time. Okay, so let's look at the pros of each first. Pros of day trading. You are not holding any overnight risk. You are in control of your account, right? You are um, right. You're sitting in front of your desk. You are able to babysit your positions. Like you don't have to walk away from the computer, right? And sometimes you do get some pumps in the market, like 10, 20, 40% in a really good bull market and stuff like that. Okay. And if you're overseas, you have leverage, but extremely leverage is dangerous. So I almost never recommend leverage to people. Um, okay. So those are the pros of day trading, right? You don't have overnight risk. Like someone who swing traded last night woke up to maximum pain today, right? So that's one example, but it doesn't happen all the time like that. Okay. Pros of investing though is if you buy at a low enough price and you hodl in stocks or crypto, and I'm talking about you're buying at a very, very wise investing price, like for Cardano. On this Cardano chart for investing, there's two spots to buy. Okay. Let me bring up a different chart so I can draw. Let's bring up the Coinbase chart. Cardano's on here longer. Now this BTC. Okay, you typed in the wrong thing. Bittrex. So for Cardano, there's two spots to buy as a long-term investor. Either at 3 cents, right here at the bottom of right here, support or resistance. And then it tested that resistance and went up. So there's like two, three spots to buy Cardano. If someone's really late, like maybe this top really blue one at the top right here. But that's it, right? Your one, two, three spots to buy and hodl. Okay. And then if you bought at any one of those spots, you're up 1000% right now. So like again, that's the benefit of being an investor. But you have to buy at the correct time for crypto. You can't hodl from yesterday, right? If somebody put a huge amount of money and started hodling from last week, they're in trouble right now. Okay, because that's FOMO. What's no FOMO is buying a proper setup at the right time, using technical analysis and not over trading. Because now let's get into the cons, right? So invest like swing trading and investing long term is you don't always have to be in front of the computer. You don't have to work 8, 12-hour days. For crypto, you have less taxes, you have less fees, less trades, less slippage, right? But you have to be able to buy at the right spot and hold at the right spot and have diamond hands and not panic sell just because something goes up 20%, right? Because there's a lot of red on this chart, right? As it goes up, there's a lot of red. There's a lot of red up here as well. Um, but really quickly, the cons of day trading, like cons of day trading is days like today, right? Cons of day trading. Spending so much time on the computer, taxes, fees. Sometimes the exchange breaks and you can't even trade, and this is horrible, right? Sometimes you put a trade on in the day, even for swing trading, and like your internet breaks, goes down, or your computer breaks, right? Or the exchange breaks. Those are some bad reasons, right? Slippage, you can't even buy. Like this morning, I couldn't even buy because my exchange was broken for a little bit. Cons of long term, I kind of mentioned, is just that, just that holding period, right? You have nothing else to do, right? If you're holding, unless you're up big in the money, is you're probably just gonna like get a little bit of anxiety, right? It's more like emotional problems, mental problems. Like if you're holding it from 20 cents and it's going up right here and it's 36 cents, you're wondering like, oh, should I sell? Should I sell? Right? It's red, right? But that's how you need to get your technical analysis and really, really understand trend. Is it going upstairs? If it's going upstairs, no need to sell for now. But if you have a big reversal signal like this, head and shoulders on the weekly that's starting to form, maybe you might want to take some profit there, right? But we had some additional bull hype to 120. So now this is kind of like looking like some kind of potential short-term topping out action for Cardano. Okay. Yeah, so try not to panic sell. Try to plan your trades. Try not to just chase candles and stuff and chase the money. Like plan your trades, play your setups. Expensive lesson, yes. Um, yeah, I hope it picks up for everybody. And again, it's not the end of crypto, right? It's just this is how we know if you're a bull, okay, it's this is where the bull strength is going to need to come into play, the mental strength. Because every time there's a massive crash, the fear, uncertainty, doubt, the regret is all those emotions, the stress, the anxiety, the worry is going to go up in our minds and our bodies, right? So, just know that this is just one moment in time. And again, and again, what we have to watch out for, instead of just me like panicking the whole time today from experience, is again, watching the lower high formation on the weekly of Bitcoin is the key, and the daily, either one of these, right? You have one red day, it's not the end of the world. But if you start downtrending like this, right? Like this, one red day, one big red day is not the end of the world, because at a certain point, you might try to get that lower high established, right? So we might see a bounce at some point next 1 week or two, right? But then if the trend changes though, and you start downtrending, that is bad on the charts. Lower low, lower high, And then at some point, you'll find a relative bottom, right? But just that one red day doesn't mean Bitcoin is going to go to zero, right? If we have losses, it's like, okay, then we have to review exactly what happened here, right? But, you know, for me, everything I've learned is to trust the technicals, right? If you turn on any news channel right now, all the news is all bearish right now. And it's like, that's obvious because anything over than like couple percent day, CNBC is going to freak out, right? So Bitcoin is they're just reporting, so much bearish news about it right now. But what are the technicals, the price, the truth of the market? What is it telling me right now? We're consolidating to the side right now. Right? So we're actually not crashing down anymore at the time of this, right? In this moment in time, in this second, in this minute, we're not crashing down anymore. So let that be a little bit of solace for us right now, right? If someone has a loss or if somebody had day trading losses today, right? Just know that we're not crashing down more right now. So again, what needs to happen is the trend change reversal to form the lower high for bulls. We need this to happen, right? Also, let's say somebody, for example, went long like uh, September 5th, right? Let's say somebody went long um, over the weekend, like, or just, I'll pick a random spot, just like right here, okay? And they're like, okay. If they try to do their risk to reward ratio, it's like, all right, I'll try to get 3%, and I'll try to get 1% stop loss, no, 2%, I'll try to get 4%, right? That worked for them. And then they were up on this weekend. And then if it depends, if somebody's a day trader, then they definitely have to move their stop losses up. They definitely have to do that. Protect the profits, protect the capital, and protect the principal. Move the trade up. I mean, move the stop loss up. Um, and then do good technical analysis and be like, wait, bearish divergence. So I'm definitely going to put my stop loss up here somewhere. Like start moving this box thing up, right? But it happens, happens to everybody. It happens to me. So yes, and if you're just joining right now, like feel free to go ahead and check out my idea because my big idea, you're basically reiterating my idea is if we're on a weekly on Bitcoin, okay, here's where we are in the long term, okay. On this chart, the Bitcoin weekly, we have 10 years of price data almost. 2012, 2011. Actually, we do have 12 years there, 2011 to 2021 right now. So if you look at the price right now, just even as a line chart, okay, we need to push in the long term, lower high, lower low, right? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? So I wrote in my idea that bulls are retesting this 50,000 to 65,000 resistance up here. And long term, in the next couple years, we do need to break above 65,000, retest it if we're going to try to hit like 80, 90,000, 100,000 on Bitcoin. But what we need to watch out for is if you are very sensitive to the charts and study the price history, is after a top at 20,000, excuse me, after a top at 1,000 or 20,000 or 65,000, right? Is the lower low, lower high downtrend going to ensue, right? Because if you just look at where I'm circling right now, this, this, and this might all be the same, related. You know what I'm saying? It's a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Is this the lower high? A bear could make an argument for that actually. A bull, though, we need proving to do. Bulls need proving to do in the next, for basically for the rest of this year and a long term perspective and going into the next couple years. Okay. If that doesn't happen, my idea says, and based upon support and resistance, right, we would, if this turns into a downtrend, we could see a pullback all the way down 30,000, 20,000, 15, 12, probably pierce down even down to 10, 10K, 10,000. So this is just that first big red day in the market, but I am going to watch this in particular very, very closely. The weekly close of this is going to be very important for like the next 3 months. Again, is this a lower high? If it is, we're going down, right? Or at least down to test the $30,000 support range again, as such. If it's not, we need to set the higher low and trend change on the weekly and destroy 65,000 to go up higher trend. Okay, so that's my idea. You could see that if you want to look at the levels for that, right? But this longer term trend change, you see the same principle applies also if you zoom into a 15-minute is we crash down, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high as such right here, right? And now we're consolidating to the side. So it's kind of turning into a symmetrical triangle equilibrium at this point. So it could go either way. We just need to see the break. Where's the break? Up 3% or down 3%. Once you see that, then you're going to see a clear trend developing. If you look very closely, though, I mean, if we're looking at the recent price action, yes, maybe there is a little 15-minute upside down hand and shoulders forming. Okay, this is new information. This is happening. Yeah, we hit those targets to the upside, right? So again, H2, you just came in, towards the end, and we talked about Bitcoin for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes in the beginning, doing all the analysis of support, resistance, trend line, you know, trend reversals, all of that. So all I'll say about strategies is whatever works. Okay, a professional money manager, portfolio manager, once my mentor once taught me that is just do whatever you know works in the market, like consistently works. Okay, and that's up to each trader to discover on his own, basically. Whatever works. Okay, so let's do a little bit of stocks now. I think we covered crypto as much as we can. We did Bitcoin for 30 minutes and altcoins for like an hour. So, and request for like an hour. So let's go ahead and switch over to stocks. Okay. I'll just do the indexes really fast and then we'll move off. Oh, wow. You're from London. Okay. Well, I hope everything goes well for you and, um, hope everybody has a good week. Also, just before, if you guys are leaving, I do have the free Discord. It's in my profile. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, and TradingView. Thank you. So I'm still on. I'm still on though. I'm gonna do stocks. We're just gonna switch gears here. Stocks. SPY. 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 This is S&P 500. And again, this side, this my chart got messed up. But oh, okay. XRP. Did I miss that? We'll do these like super rapid fire. Okay, great. XRP, USD, XRP. So very similar. I'll just do it real fast on daily chart. Resistance 140, support 92, trendline support to the downside right here, violated. Okay, but just remember, XRP got kicked off U.S. exchanges this year, so that changed the fundamentals, but it's still alive internationally. It had a nice rally, right? But bearish divergence. This is very telling, right here. You look at this, very very suspicious, right there. Boom! Look at that loss of momentum on RSI, right? So very very sensitive technical analysts would be like, what is this happening right here? So very suspicious. So broke down. So the levels you're going to play through, or that's happening right now, is right for bull break, for rally, right? 10% might be the target. Okay, somewhere there. Downside target might be somewhere like 10% as well, because XRP is a dollar. So dollar is definitely that line in the sand where there's going to be a fight there. Okay, so these are the two targets on XRP. What you just have to watch out for, like every single altcoin, 15-minute, 5-minute, right, is the uptrend. Strangely, on XRP, we are starting to uptrend a little bit. It's kind of nice to, if you're a bull, you're like, okay, nice. You want to see that. Okay, so that's, something good to latch onto for XRP there. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Uh, Now the question is, it's going to be Solana. So everybody, Solana and FTM, those are the kind of models that we want to see happen in the market. It just happened really, really, really fast on Solana and FTM, meaning this. We had about this, right? Boom, 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 right? But Solana was different, turned to upside down head and shoulders, and then trend changed up. We need to see that on every single altcoin, okay? Literally every single altcoin in Bitcoin, we need this to happen for bulls to recover, right? For traders to make some money and for bulls to recover, right? If not, if this rejects, we're going to see a little bit of problem here, right? That would be a problem. If it rejects on any one of these trend lines, which the good news is the steep trend line it's about to be tested in the next like couple hours, right? EMAs could come into play here. So this is good. We got a very short-term EMA cross, thank goodness, for bulls, right? And then all these EMAs are the top side target resistances, right? So for example, this is educational only, but 4% to like a 2%, like if somebody's about to like jump in the market right now, or like a 4% to 8% target, right? It makes sense because once for aggressive trading, it's like if this turns to higher high, higher low, and we keep recovering, this should happen unless intense fear and liquidation domino effect happens again. Then we're gonna pull back down, right? So you want to confirm the trend change and make sure this thing is going to happen. It's flagging to the side right now. All right. So that makes sense on that. I think I missed somebody's. I think somebody asked for theta up here as well. Theta or US or X. So I did XRP. Okay, let me do theta and then we'll do AMC. Maybe AVAX. Okay, so I'll just go like real fast because if you guys missed the beginning of this part, basically everything that we talked about for Bitcoin for the first like 40 minutes applies to every single altcoin I'm about to be talking about. So it's like the same setup needs to happen. If you need a reference point visual, like, okay, what should happen? Just check out Solana or FTM as the crash and the recovery. Okay, it's just that down and then that up has to happen in the price on like everything, or else we're kind of in trouble on altcoins. Let me use Huobi or Huobi, right? Because I know a lot of traders use this. So let's use this one. US Theta USDT. I remember Theta. All right, so the first thing is let's get resistance and support. Resistance, top side. We'll use the wick here, which also goes to this side over here, this left side, right here, like that. Okay. So we have support and resistances. We have resistance at $10 basically, another resistance at $8, support at $6, $5, $4 basically. And right, it makes sense. I need to bring up some EMA so it makes sense to people. All right, so yes, we did have Golden Cross, and it's testing holding above that 200 EMA. That's good for all coins. It's just that the larger term picture, if we zoom out to a weekly, is you see here, theta is basically downtrending on a weekly. Okay, so it's not very strong at this point. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Is this the lower high? It could very well be a lower high. It's a little different than Bitcoin, but because you already have two lows and two lower highs. So this to me is looking like, you know, longer term, gigantic bull flag because it's already up so many percent, thousands of percent, right? So that issue could happen. Again, the trend change. All right, because if you look at this side, we're going upstairs, trend uptrending. Right now, we're not uptrending. I hope people will see that. On the price, we are not uptrending on theta. So for me, fundamental analysis is because I'm a technical analyst. I use charts. I'm basically 80-90% technical analyst, and then maybe 10 to 20% fundamentals um, for crypto and stocks. So just to for fundamental news, I'll just use like Coin Market Cap. Everybody knows, most people knows about Coin Market Cap, and then I'll just read what's happening with the company and the coins. For crypto, that's basically, or like news websites, that's basically all we have. Or you could go to the your favorite coin and follow their social media, and then any updates they have. That's actually probably the best source because it's less biased. So that's what I would do for fundamentals, and then just make my own decision. Just understand what the coin is, read the white paper for crypto, do some investigating in the company, like who's the CEO, who's on the team, where did they come from, what are their skills, what does the coin do, right? What kind of token is it, right? Is it proof of work or proof of stake? Proof of stake, right? Is there going to be any splits happening in the coin? Are there any coin upgrades happening, like a 2.0 upgrade? Any changes in the company? Any changes in the coin? Right? Those are just some of the fundamentals. And then I do some sentiment analysis, just meaning like what's the sentiment of people right now. On the internet, we have a lot of bearish sentiment, obviously, on all social medias and news right now. But my experience as a trader is I try not to get too emotional, right? I don't try not to get too excited. I try not to get too much fear, uncertainty, doubt, right? Try not to get too greedy, right? Just try to stay neutral as much as I can. And just, to me, the charts are the truth. The charts are the truth. This is telling me exactly what I need to know about the coin, right? So for, like, I don't know what coin you asked for. Let me rewind. I don't know if you asked for a coin. Okay, I could use theta for an example right here. So theta, right? All I need to know for theta is there's two spots you could buy on theta on the weekly chart, and then you're done, right? And it's just a matter of back here in 2019, 2020, nobody was, wanting to buy theta. It's like, why, right? But if you look at the charts, there are, it's just support and resistance, right? Actually, I'll draw horizontal. And this applies for like almost everything, right? But first off, I'm not just looking at theta and buying theta in a vacuum in black space. Basically, whatever happens with Bitcoin, all coins follow for the most part, except for like one or two, like Solana. But every year it happens. Same thing happens every year. Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. Bitcoin crashes, everything crashes, except for like one or two. So here's your setup, right? You have this trend line resistance on the top, and this is resistance breakout play, theta. I mean, kind of a ridiculous percentage wise, but you have it. Here it is. Right? It's kind of ridiculous risk to reward, but it's paid off because crypto 100% to upside is not ridiculous, right? For crypto. So that's the setup. Very simple as that. Simple as that. Or if you miss the move, it's like, well, okay, where are my support levels? Where's my support level? Right. So if you miss the initial breakout on theta, there's only a couple spots you could have safely gotten in on a weekly chart. The trend line is here. So first one is the breakout. Second one is trendline support touch, trendline support touch, intraday trendline support touch. Maybe now, but it's like, now you're at the top of the Jenga tower. Do you know what I mean? Like now you're up 1,000. Now you're up. Hold on, I can't even do math right now. Now you're up 100x, basically, right? Or 65x. Should I long theta now? the chances are less, yes, of that. You know what I mean? Is should you long? Should anybody long theta right now to hold for many years? Maybe, depending on what your goals are, right? Fundamentals and stuff. But according to the charts, it's like this is sort of a setup, but not really, right? Because the Elliott wave pattern, right? If you believe in Elliott wave, one, two, three, and that bottom one is wrong, but it probably started more like this, right? One, two, three, four, five. The five wave is super long. The one wave should be shorter, right? It's not perfect Elliott wave, but the general psychology is there. You could see five waves, maybe one, and then three is the middle one, right here, and five went way overextended, right? Right. So that's the thing is news is usually late. Like CNBC, Bloomberg, nothing against them, but when they report something, it's usually late. You know what I mean? Um, and news will almost never have buy setups or sell setups, right? They just report on whatever's moving. Anything goes up, they're going to talk about it. Anything goes down a lot, they're just going to talk about it on the news. But for me, I'm a technical analyst. So the truth, I am looking at the truth right now. We are looking at it. Like it's not indicators, it's not the watch list. All you need is this. If you're doing technical analysis, you literally only need price and volume, and then it's a matter of your knowledge and skills, right? On the weekly. This is all you need. This is all you need. And then you got to draw your trend lines like my idea, right? Like this. This is all you need. For Bitcoin long term holding, this is all you need, right? So, books or courses, I mean, for me, I studied a lot. I read like over 100 books. I studied like 100 books when I first started, and I spent I traded and, I did analysis like 7 days a week. And I practiced so much. And this is getting into more of a story. I'm trying not to tell too much story. No one needs to know this, but basically there are technical analysis books. So not like I would start with the books first. Courses are good, but they read from the books too, right? So I would say like maybe buy one book and one like affordable course and one that's not like $1,000. You know what I mean? Like courses are overpriced. And you can get stuff on like Udemy, right? It's if you want to buy like a for super affordable one, or you could buy like a $50 book. That probably has the most value. The book probably has the most value. If it's a real technical analysis book, then they'll learn about. Um, but there's some internet sources like if you really don't want to pay any money, there's just like I googled a lot of information in the beginning too. Um, so yeah, so I would shy away from really expensive courses or courses that say like, oh, we have a strategy that works like this percentage of the time and they made $1 million. Like, no, 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 that probably doesn't work. Right. And the course is $10,000. Like, come on, that sounds like a scam. Right. So what you have to think about it is it's kind of like contrarian investing, right? What's the opposite of what people are doing? Nobody reads anymore. So then maybe the knowledge is actually in the books. You know what I mean? Is nobody exercises that much, so maybe exercise is good. Or nobody eats vegetables, and so maybe vegetables are good. Nobody wants to buy support on a low support, but maybe that's the right spot to buy. When everyone like with what Warren Buffett said, when there's maximum fear, I forgot the quote, but you know what I'm saying. When there's maximum fear in the market, that's when you buy. Right? Let me bring. Hold on. That's such a good quote. I had to bring it up because it's like the most legendary Warren Buffett quote. Somebody probably knows it in the chat. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful, right? Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. So, on a day trading standpoint, are people greedy right now or are people fearful? People are afraid right now. People are uncertain. People are doubtful. So on a micro scale, it still applies. But on a mega scale, on a weekly, people are in the greed phase right now. Still, like this whole relief, this was greed right here. I'm not, blaming anybody, but if you have to put in between greed and fear words, the whole 2020 to 21 is greed in the market, right? And then this is greed too. Fear is this part, the middle of May. That's fear, uncertainty, doubt. When crashing and there's giant head and shoulders is happening, and people are like, are we about to crash down to 3,000? That was fear right there. And then a little bit of greed came back. And I did notice that people online are saying, making super bullish calls in the past like 1 or 2 weeks. So there's something there too with that. But if there's any quote that I would tell anybody, it's that Warren Buffett quote because it applies to crypto too, even though he doesn't like crypto. It still applies. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. So where were people maximum fearful? The initial COVID-19 pandemic dump right here to $4,000 Bitcoin. That was maximum fear. I remember that. I was on the computer trading that and buying that on that same exact day, right there. Maximum fear. And if you use technical analysis, it was trendline support. So boom, right there. Right. And then we did have maximum greed here in the market just by feeling. I sold all my coins at 65,000 back there. How did I know how to do that? Experience, trading, technical analysis experience, but also I felt the sentiment in other chat rooms. Like people are saying Doge going to $30, Doge going to 10, Doge going to $1, which is all up. Super bullish calls on Doge, right? And then we consolidated up here for like 2 weeks, or I don't know how many days this is. 3 months actually. This is a weekly chart. For like 3 months, we got stuck up here, and I'm like, we're not going higher. Trendline resistance, boom, I'm out, done. Then the China miner problem happened, and we crashed out. Relief rally as well. So technical analysis works for people who have the knowledge and skills and the emotional discipline to only trade what they know works in the market, right? So that Warren Buffett quote I just said works in the market for stocks and crypto if the asset is good. So I'm sure he's not going to say that be fearful, when others are greedy and greedy others when fearful on like the worst junk stock in the world, right? Or the worst penny crypto in the world, penny stock or crypto. It probably doesn't apply to complete junk assets, but for good assets, he's talking about good assets. I read a lot of Warren Buffett books. He's talking about good assets in the market, like a solid company, like an Apple, for example, right? If Apple were to crash down negative 50% for no reason, that's a buy for me. That's a buy, big buy, right? Same thing for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin were to all of a sudden crash negative 50% for no reason, no real reason, I would buy that probably. I'll buy some just to be like, hey, here we go, right? It's that greed versus fear, supply versus demand. And if there's a technical setup that reinforces my decisions. So the technical setup here again with the Bitcoin is, are we making this lower high on the weekly? Well, if this closes red this week, there's a real case for that to be made because it's just rounding out right here on these 4 candles. Okay, this whole left side is giant resistance in the yellow box, right? So unless we pull back and do this, the trend is not going to turn into an uptrend. Best tech analysis book that I know, it's hard to say. Um, there's so many books. Like off the top of my head, the best candlestick was like Steve Neeson. He's like the guy who created the god, or not the god, but he's the godfather of candlesticks. So if you ever need to learn about candles, that comes to my mind. Steve Neeson. I'll write in the chat. Steve Neeson books for candlesticks and candlestick patterns. I remember that book really helped me understand candles better. Like for instance, right on a daily, like we could just do some candle analysis. So we're looking at Bitcoin USD 1-day chart. and I'll just anything I see, I will shout it out or like give it a shout out right now. So right here, there's a hammer. Hold on, let me use a blank chart. So I'm on Coinbase chart right now. So I'll just put a little dot under something I see. This is a hammer right here, right there. Hammer candle. This is a bullish engulfing candle. This could be. This is shooting star candle right here, and the blue shooting star on the daily is a doji candle, right? This is a bullish engulfing candle. This is a bearish engulfing candle. Exactly what happened today. Bearish engulfing candle. The bearish candle ate all the candles, right? So just doing candlestick analysis, you could just have an edge over other people who don't know what they're doing in the market, right? So there's just visually, there's a hammer right here. There's a hammer, but it failed that time. Bullish engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle, it's a bullish engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle, super large hammer, hammer, doji candles, right? You could just like do it all day. Morningstar pattern. No, excuse me. Yeah, Morningstar pattern, right? That's a triple candle pattern, right? So for people learning to learn like candlesticks, Steve Neeson's the godfather. He codified it for everybody. He like created it. He took what was happening in the Japanese candlesticks and then he translated to English. He's the guy, right? So other technical, there's Thomas Bukowski. I hope I said his name right. Technical analysis books. Thomas Bukowski, and then he does chart pass. He has a chart patterns book. Um, I'm sure if you just buy like any, I'm trying to think what. Um, I might have to look it up. It's been a little while since I remember the author names. I want to give you guys the right information. I remember this Martin Pring. I really liked Martin Pring as a teacher. Technical Analysis Explained by Martin Pring. I really liked that book. It's like simple. Thomas Bukowski has Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns. Steve Neeson with the Japanese candlestick charting techniques. Technical Analysis of Financial Markets. That's a classic. That's a classic. So like you could just go to like goodreads.com. I remember this. Technical Analysis of Financial Markets by John Murphy. He's kind of like the godfather of technical analysis. John Murphy. I remember those books helped me a lot. And then I read just a lot of like small how-to books and a lot of small um just anything on technical analysis. I just read like every single book like that you'll see on Goodreads and Amazon. I just rented it all. I bought some. I just read it all and I learned and now it's all in my brain. Right. And I use it every single day. So risk management and trading psychology. Uh, well, for psychology like trading psychology, the famous one is Trading in the Zone. That's a famous one. Dang, there's one more to look it up. Books. Oh yeah, the Brett Steenberger ones, because he's actual psychologist, so you might want to start with him. Trading in the Zone is more like motivational, but the Brett Steenbarger ones is he's a real psychologist. So the Trading Psychology books by Brett Steenbarger, he's good. And then I just studied like market, like if you just want to learn from some mentors, obviously the Legendary Market Wizards book by Jack Schwager. is good. And these names, like in the industry, all traders know these names. You know what I mean? Steve Neeson, John Murphy, Bukowski, Mark Douglas, the trading the zone guy, Brett Steenbarger. These are all famous people in the industry. So if you just pretty much go on Amazon or on Goodreads, or if you go to the wiley.com and just pretty much any book from wiley.com, which the financial book that publishes all of these, I would start there. I would not start with like little ebook stuff from, like from people online, like the ebooks and the courses is they're selling their courses, you know what I mean? But it's like maybe start with the master. Like who's the master of candlesticks? Steve Neeson. Who's the master of TA? John Murphy. Who's the master of chart patterns? Bukowski. Who's the master of psychology? Probably Brett Steenbarger, right? So I read all those books. It's on my brain. But also I read, I studied just psychology in general. I studied sociology a little bit just as a hobby. Just read some books about like, you know, what happened, what makes people afraid, you know? How does someone control their emotions? Um how does somebody like control fear, uncertainty, doubt, right? Even like high performance sports athletes, how do they perform under pressure? It's like all those things are related to trading. Risk management. Oh, you're asking me risk management too. Risk management, um, you might hear it from people in those books, but just do a quick super lesson. Like one day I'm going to do an education stream. It's just now's not the perfect time to do it because of the market's crashing. But risk management is just very simple. It's your risk to reward ratio, whatever it is. I have to turn log scale off, right? Just look at the box, right? You want to always do at least 2 to 1 as a risk to reward ratio. That's basically it. And then it's just a matter of where exactly are you going to. So I'm talking about day trading and swing trading right now. So day trading is this, like, risk 1% to scalp your 2% day trading or more, right? Swing trading is different. Swing trading is more like you're trying to get maybe 20%, right? For crypto, it's possible, or stocks, possible. And I'll come back to stocks. I know I kind of went on a tangent here, but this applies for trading. So this is pure technical analysis. So, right, for this example, you see the 2 to 1%. Over here, the 20 to 10%, right? And then for investing, it might be like a 25 to 50, like a big one, right? Because then 25% takes you into bear market territory. So that's often a stop loss used by investors. And then 50% like that. Okay. So you can see the day trading risk to reward ratio is very small, right? Swing trading is a bit larger, and then investing is the largest. But some investor, I mean, you kind of, if you're a trader though, you always need a stop loss. Investing is different though, because someone could like permanent invest and be like, I'm gonna risk X amount of money, but I still don't advise that to people. You have to have some mental stop loss at least for investing. But for trading, you need to have a hard stop loss for days like this. But the stop loss, yeah, it could have kicked some people out, but it just depends on where did they buy, right? So you always want to be getting a 2 to 1 risk to reward ratio, and then it becomes about using a for to make it easy, use a calculator. I forget what it's called. Um, my mind just went blank. But using a position size calculator, there it is. Just Google it anywhere. There's like 10. Just find one that works for you and use a position size calculator. So then you do 2 to 1 or 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, right? And then you use position sizing to control your loss, your profit, and your loss. So use a position size calculator. So this is risk management. Okay. And then once you're in the trade, it's stop loss, and then stop loss management. Okay. So this is like the three things you have to do. Risk management. So you get your risk to reward ratios up, right? For day trading, swing trading, and investing. And then it's just a matter of doing your technical analysis correctly so you're buying at the correct spot. Because the problem with day traders and why people are getting stopped out and losing um, on a regular basis for no reason is are they buying at the correct spot in the market for longs? Because longs we cannot buy the top. You know what I mean? Then you're gonna lose almost 100%, maybe 90%, 89%. You're gonna lose if you keep buying the tops. And commissions too, yeah. Day trading, there's a commission problem. So you might need to do maybe a 2 to 4 ratio, right, for day trading if you want to cover your commissions. So it's still 2 to 1 ratio, but you know what I'm saying, right? 4% up, 2% down, or 6% up, 3% down. But day trading, it might not move 6% depending on your asset. So minimum 1 to 2, 2 to 4. But that's basically what you have to do for risk management. And it's one of these three things that's going to get people. You know what I mean? So for day trading, it's just that buying at the right spot and then getting that risk to reward ratio, setting your profit and your stop loss targets if you can on your exchange, or mentally, or put a hard stop loss only and alert on the top side, and you let go of the trade, like you don't touch it. You know what I mean? You do not touch it unless it hits one of your targets, and then you close. If you make money on the top side 2%, you close the position, you sell for day trading. If you stop out at 1% automatically, you're closed, you're done. That trade is over, and you move on. So and then the emotional part comes in. It's like, well, are you going to get mad about it? Are you going to get sad about it? Are you going to get angry about it? Are you going to get fearful about it? Everybody's different, and how we manage their emotions is that trading psychology part. So position sizing calculator, step number 2 is basically you almost never want to go all in with your money, right? Because the more money you put in, the more you're going to risk and potentially lose. So for day trading, you're only supposed to recommend it, and this is not financial advice, this is educational. You can find anything I'm saying on Google, right? Or books. So position sizing is all about what's your maximum loss, right? You calculate it. So if somebody has a $10,000 account and they're only risking 1%, so you're not going to put all 10,000 in the trade. Is like you might trade with like 1,000 or 2,000 or 2,500 or 3,000 like maximum, right? And you have a 1% loss. And then you can calculate using a position size calculator, what's my maximum dollar loss that I'm about to have. And that's how you're psychologically able to let go of trades and not like panic and not get super angry if something goes wrong, right? Is you already know ahead of the trade how much dollar risk you're willing to risk, how much percentage that is of your portfolio in your account, and then it's a matter of buying at the right spot for trading over and over again. If you keep buying at the wrong spot using the wrong position sizing, you're going to lose a lot of money. You're going to go broke, you're going to blow up your account, basically. And then stop loss management is, let's say in a trade, like what someone was saying over the weekend, is if they buy something and it keeps going up, if you're trading, you want to move your stop loss. Let's say it's this red line. I'll put in big fat red line, right? Actually, I'll do pink because you can see it better. Huge pink line, right? That's the original stop loss. And then it goes up and it keeps going up. Then you got to be moving your stop loss up as a trader to protect your profits, right? And then you find if it goes up a lot, you just move it, you just keep following it a certain percentage, right? And then when days like this happens, you stopped out into profit. You stopped out into profit. So it's okay as a swing trader if you bought at the right spot, doing proper technical analysis, you buy, the market starts going up, you got to move your stop loss up a little bit, at least to break even, so you're not going to go broke, right? If you just leave it down here forever and you have a market crash today, that person got stopped out. You know what I mean? Down here, and there's a wasted trade. So you got to move it as a swing trader. You got to move it up, move it up, move it up, and then when you have a pullback and flash crash high enough, you stopped out into profit and you made money. And you keep doing that over and over again, rinse, repeat. Same thing for investing. Except for stocks is easier because you have a trailing stop loss. It's just like you can set that up. It follows it, certain percentage. But stop loss management is the third key, right? All right. So to answer your question, I know I went on a huge tangent, but this is, it's probably one of the most important lessons of trading, risk management. And if you do proper risk management, then the trading psychology basically like kind of, in my opinion, takes care of itself. It's just you have to like figure out how are you going to emotionally control yourself. Because if you go all in on every single trade day trading, you will have trading psychology problems because you're like, oh my gosh, if I lose 5, 10, 50, 25%, 50%, 70, 80%, I just lost a huge amount of my money. Oh my gosh, right? And you just go into an emotional tailspin, right? Trading, you're only supposed to probably use only a certain percentage of capital so that you, in never one trade, you're never going to go broke. That's why I'm fine today. As a trader, I'm fine. I'm fine, right? As an investor, I'm fine. Swing trader, I'm fine. That's why and from a lot of experience, I know don't panic on these days, right? Don't panic on these days. Okay, so to move on, hope that helped everybody. Risk management, move on. How do you do fast pace your learning process and become consistent? Um, well, if you want to get good at trading, try paper trading, right? Like you don't always have to, like if you just want to practice, then try paper trading on TradingView, or if you have some on stocks, you could do paper trading. I used to practice like that. Um, so yeah, crypto. So yeah, just whatever works for you. You know what I mean? But you have to use some kind of stop loss because that becomes your protection on the downside. And then once you start making money, it becomes your take profit, basically sell. That's how for trading you can use the stop loss to your advantage. Is right. Day trading though is it's a little trickier because the percentages are so tight. You know what I mean? And it's just like one little pullback. But then for swing trading, for investing, stop loss really makes sense because if you're up 10%, right? If you're up 10%, like we we're not supposed to. It's not wise to leave your negative 10% stop loss just hanging down there for no reason. You got to move it at least to break even. It goes up more, and you move it up more, move it up more, move it up more. And then when you get a problem like potential today, right? Like I'll use this example. Somebody went long here, let's say at the support level here, which is fine. Okay, and their target was 10%, and then downside stop loss was 5%. Swing trade. This is just everyday business as usual, right? So then their stop loss was down here. I'm talking about they started here in the blue zone. They started the trade right here, right? Then it's they went up and then it double bottomed, okay, and then it went up. So when it starts going up here, you got to move your stop loss up to break even, okay, right? When it starts coming over here on this side, when you're in the money, start moving your stop loss up. Then the obvious stop loss place to put it is right here above the resistance zone. Okay, does that make sense? Or if you're really good at charts and you notice the bearish divergence, you put this right under the candle of yesterday, stop loss tight, right? Because you get this psychological hanging man candle. And then when the crash happened, you made profit and you're fine. You're fine. That's how you manage that swing trade. Day trading is different because if you have, like you said, fees and stuff, and you're only trying to scalp like 2%, sometimes even for me, I just do mental everything. And then once I hit my levels, I'm out, right? So let's say I was day trading like a 5 minute or something, even in today, right? Let's say I don't want to use the crash as an example. That's too extreme. But just like this, like 2 days ago or yesterday, we had this is like somebody's standard chart, right? It's like, okay, I see some setup here. Maybe I'm going to try to take an entry on this right here, the higher low, and my target is 1 or 2%. Let's, for this example, we use 2%, and my risk to the downside is 1% all the way down here. All the way down here. And it's uptrending like this, right? Uptrending, it's great. Great, you're making money. Okay, right? 1% up. Very nice. 1%. Okay, then once you're up 1%, right? And it's not coming down and you do technical analysis well. And I'm not talking about just looking at the price on your phone and looking away. It's like you got to look at the charts, understand what's happening, right? The initial stop loss was here in the pink, right? Once it goes up halfway or something like that, then I would immediately move my stop loss to break even. No way I'm losing money on this trade, or even 0.5% up, right? Below this like price action, just move it somewhere here, boom, right here, right here. And then as you hit your profit target, if you're a disciplined trader, you just sell. You just sell. Discipline. Don't get greedy, right? It could go up higher, but somewhere here you have to sell, right? So if someone's really, really disciplined at day trading, they would move any stop loss up here at their two. So once you're up 2%, that's your target. You put your stop loss 2%, and then you just let it go, right? Or you can manually sell it if it goes up higher, 3-4%. You're like, I'm done. You got 41 on your ratio. You're done. Manually sell that, right? As a day trader, that's the discipline it takes to not get greedy and not hold forever. Day traders don't hold forever. You have your targets and you're done. You're out in the trade as a day trader. And you move on to the next setup, right? So this became 3-1 for me. Depending on how much capital, yes, it's wise to scale in and scale out depending on how much money you have. But sometimes if it's small, relatively small, medium-sized position trade, I'm just with crypto, I'm out. I just one time I just sell out. I'm done. For day trading, I'm talking about day trading, right? So I'm just giving examples of how you actually can manage it, right? You could use, but for like people in the beginning, you should use a real hard, like a stop loss you put into the exchange, right? And then all you have to do is cancel it and then move it up and retype it, and then cancel it and move it up, retype it, cancel it, move it up, retype it. And even if you're not sure, let the market kick you out in a good way, right? Let the market take profit for you. So you're not sure what's happening here. I'm gonna put 2.5%, take profit, stop loss somewhere here. And then the market would have proved to you, okay, it's not going up higher that much right now in the short term, and you're done, right? Either put the stop loss or sell, limit sell, and you're out, right? So that's what I'm talking about. That's how you manage that. So problem with people sometimes in swing trading is they'll leave investing or even day trading is they'll leave it and they'll just never manage the trade, right? And then a flash crash happens today and the whole trade is wasted. And again, nobody can foresee we're gonna crash down negative 20% one day, but you get the idea, right? You just do technical analysis and risk management together very well, right? And you can even see here it turned into a resistance, a support above, right? It's a channel going up, and then it turned into a support level here, and then it fell back down, and we crashed back down. So this part was a little sketchy. So if you had your stop loss here in your day trade, even if you're swing trading overnight, right here at the 52, if I could pull it, boom, you would have stopped out, still into the profit. There's plenty of chances to get out of here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the exchange would have kicked you. I mean, would have sold it for you. You're still in that profit, right? So that's what you have to do. So first is, you have to find the right setup, meaning what setups are you going to use that works, right? And using that Warren Buffett quote, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. That's giving you a hint there, educational wise, right? So then, right, and then you do just good technical analysis. I know the problem with some people is they'll buy, like let's say they bought at 51,212, um, right at the blue line, right? And then you put your stop loss at the purple pink line. And then what people do is like they'll not they as analysts, you got to keep looking at the chart, right? And keep analyzing it for a day trader. If you just stop and then you just keep looking at the phone or the watch list price like this, like, and that's not really helping you, right? If you just look at a number, it doesn't tell you trend or support or resistance unless you already did that homework, right? You put the work in, right? So that's what I'm talking about is with people. And then what you don't want to do, if your technical analysis is not up to par, right? And somebody longs right here at the top with no stop loss, that's the absolute worst scenario possible with day trading or for management purposes, right? If they're like, "Ooh, look at this thing. It's just This is what I'm talking about. This is a FOMO type of mistake, right? 53,000, 53,000. Oh my gosh. Everybody on Reddit and social media says, everybody in the chat room saying a buy, everybody in the Reddit or Robinhood or social medias, Twitter, YouTube, TradingView, everyone's all bullish. I'm going to go long here at 53,000 without doing any TA, technical analysis. Not you guys, but I'm saying imaginary trader. This imaginary FOMO trader I'm talking about right now, not you guys. Imaginary, right? They're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And you know what? I'm so confident I don't even need stop loss, right? And it's like that's two bad ideas in a row, basically. Mistakes, right? I don't even need stop loss. I'm not going to do technical analysis. Everything's going to be fine, right? That overconfidence, that um, not even doing any work in technical analysis, FOMO, just like trading with your eyes closed, it's going to get people wrecked. Either here at the top or like if they bought here, right? You're gonna get wrecked, or you're just gonna have a trader's just gonna have bad days, right? This could have been a consolidation, almost a bull break, but fail. This was a fake out into a short reversal, and you're stopped out, hopefully at 1% or 0.5%, right? But let's say a beginner trader would be like, I hate this, right? I hate this trading thing, and then they quit and turn their computer off for like 3 days, right? But the experienced trader would be like, wait a second, what's happening with the trend though? If I got stopped out 3 times right here, like, wait a second, let me hands off and do my analysis. Figure out what's happening in the market right now. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Boom, you buy right there. Simple, simple. If you're a trader, if you know what you're doing, right? Simple 2-to-1 ratio, 1% or 0.5% stop loss, and then you let this thing go. Put the stop loss into your exchange, and then hands off the computer. You can watch it, the chart, right? Then hands off the computer as a day trader, right? Or let's say if it's a 1% scalp only, 5% negative 0.5% the downside, boom, you hit your target. You have two options to do. You put your stop loss way up here, or you just sell, right? I'm talking about this green thing right here, right there. Right when you hit the top of that target, you hit your 1%. If that was your goal for the day, 1% in the trade, boom, you're out. You're done. You're done. Don't be like, oh, is it gonna go? Are we going to Bitcoin 60,000 on this day trade? It's like, no, no, no. You hit your target, sell, you're done. You're out. Trade is over. Next trade, right? Then I'll move on as a day trader. Okay. Is it crashing down? Okay, let it crash down. And then if you do good technical analysis, you get your support trend line, like boom, trend line right here. Oh, let me buy this again. Morningstar candle pattern. Great. Next trade. If you're that aggressive as trading. I would not really recommend that though, because there's too many fees. Because a swing trader would come in here. A swing trader would come in here and buy, you know, if they look at the same chart, swing trader would use much larger metrics. Okay, but you get the idea, you guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would recommend. So if somebody is in here and trying to figure out, okay, how do I get better at trading? How do I get better at psychology, risk management? Is you got to learn the basics, right? The beginner and the intermediate, maybe up to advanced, and then you just have to work on it every day. Excuse me. You have to work on it like I did. I did a lot of things to manage my psychology, but what helped the best is just getting good at technical analysis and then understanding my setups and my strategies and then putting on the proper risk to reward ratio, that 2-to-1 minimum. And even if you see red in the market, is like that's okay, because if you did your analysis correctly and you correctly define this as uptrend, right? You get your support and resistance levels up there, like here in the gray, here, right here, here. There's a whole bunch you see, and it's making sense. Why the price is getting stuck there. Double bottom, consolidating a breakout, hitting this resistance, pulling back to support. Let me do play by play, right? So we hit this resistance, right, and pull back downtrend, downtrend, downtrend to a previous level of support area zone here. Okay, so you have to get your analysis correct. Then higher high, higher low. Ooh, this is really interesting. Establishing a higher low on this previous support level here in the yellow. Let me use blue now. Right, down, previous level of support, previous resistance, higher low, ooh, trend change, possible trend change reversal. Experienced traders will buy right there. They would buy right there on that green, right there. I know experienced pro day traders, that's sometimes what they do, right? That's one of their setups, right? Boom. And I do the same thing. I'll do the same thing. If I'm trading this, like, okay, here we go. And then what do you do with the risk management though? How much money are you going to put in this trade? What's your entry? What's your profit target? What's your stop loss? And then how much money are you willing to risk? What is 1% of what though? Right? So if someone has $10,000 account, they're not going to don't put all $10,000 in because you're going all in on that moment, especially if you're leveraged, right? That's like the worst thing you can do, right? If you want consistent profits every day, right? Or every week, every month, it's about risk management. It's the highest risk, 100% risk almost, to put all your money in with stop loss that might work. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the price skips the stop loss and you lose like 10% in a day trade. That's happened to me so many times. Sometimes you get a flash crash like today, you lose 30, 20% one day and it misses your stop loss. It's possible, right? So let's say somebody only put like on exchanges, usually see like a 25% button, right? So it's like, okay, it's somebody put $2,500 on this trade, hypothetical, right? Let me bring the calculator up. 2,500. I want accurate numbers, right? Then you're 1%. Did I do that right now? Can't even calculate it. Yeah, $25. All right, so that's a little too small for an example. So let me say if somebody has like a $50,000 account, right? $50,000 account, okay, and then they're only day trading with like quarter of that, 12,500 for the trade, and then you're only risking 1% stop loss, $100, right? So for day trading, very, very simple like that, right? Minus the fee, so it comes down to like $100, right? So let's say dollar value is $100 on the downside, right? And then you try to make $200 on the top side. At least 1.5, but that's for like really advanced traders, scalpers, aggressive. It's like you try to get your 2 to 1, right? So it's 2 to 1 of what dollar value though, right? $12,500 or 10,000, right? So it's basically you're risking $100 here to make 200. And if you did your technical analysis right and you recognize what's happening here, coming down, higher low, okay, consolidation, and this might be a little bit sketchy. It's like, if we bear break down, I'm going to sell mentally, right? But then if bull breaks up, almost hit your target, come back down. But if you're doing active technical analysis, you say, wait, we're coming right down to trendline support. So maybe a smart or a professional day trader might actually buy more right at the spot, or you could just keep holding, right? Then if we continue up, higher high, and then right here, you could put a sell order if it's really going to hit. Why? Because you're hitting a previous level of resistance all up in here, right? 50,000, right? Or if you're like, wait, I feel like it's going to go more because you're like, wait, there's a trend line here. Okay. Then you put your stop loss in that pink right here and you let it ride a little more, right? But at some point you have to sell. You're going to have to sell. You can't leave it forever and sleep because that's not what day traders do. You basically have to set your profit target. So I would do minimum is 2.2%, but because of slippage, I would put it higher, right? Like 2.5 or 2.25% to cover commissions and slippage. So I actually get net 2%, the $200 on the trade, right? So once it starts downtrending here, then you start getting a little concerned. You're like, this could have been head and shoulders. But we do higher high, higher low. Okay, fine. One more, right? A very, very experienced trader would put their stop loss here or just flat out limit sell and you're done. You're done, so you're out of the trade. Take your profit, you're done, right? From here, entry to at least maybe somebody might have, if they panic sell, they at least panic sell and profit, right? Here, and then another spot to sell is 2% here. Minimum, you have to lock this in 2%, or else if you don't do that, you're not going to be profitable over time because then you're not doing the risk reward ratio properly, right? Then if it keeps going up, you got to lock it in, lock in your profit, and you're done. You walk away. Success on that trade, right? But if you don't have risk management in place, you don't have position sizing in place, you don't even have technical analysis in place, that's why people keep losing all the time. Not you guys, but I'm saying like other traders, a hypothetical FOMO trader, that's why that FOMO trader, imaginary FOMO trader would lose, right? Somebody could have taken here like an aggressive trader, because you notice you're like, wait, FOMO, no FOMO charts. What about support, support? What about this right here? What about this right here? So yeah, somebody could, yes, somebody could have went long here, and with the same ratio, if they're thinking, okay, we're going to retest 2% or 1.5% up there on the top side, right? This is an example where you let it get stopped out and then you're done, right? Because what you did, right, what a FOMO trader, not FOMO, this is actually a good trade, is the first problem though is with the technical analysis is we're not in the uptrend anymore. That's first lesson number one, right? We're not in this left side uptrend anymore. Or even here, what's happening? If you're really sensitive to the charts, you notice that starting from about um, at yesterday evening for me is you started downtrending. It's the trend reversal right here. It's uptrend. Then this marks the top, right? And then it started downtrending. So it's always risky to buy right here because what you're doing is buying this side as well. So when you're a bull, you don't want to buy downtrends, basically, right? It's very dangerous to buy into the downtrend because right here, this is why people lost so much money today is it's downtrending and you try to buy. But if when bears really take over, it's not going to go up that much because bears are in control, right? The bulls were in control 24 hours ago. Here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Bulls were in complete control right there, day traders. But bears took control. And then there's also a head and shoulders pattern if you're really sensitive to the technical analysis, right? This is where chart patterns and studying candlesticks and chart patterns and TA is really going to save you versus someone who doesn't know anything or can't see it fast enough, right? So here's a reason 0.75 to 1.5 down, but still you end up crashing negative 20, right? So there's a very, very key lesson here of this is a situation where you always need stop loss, right? As a day trader, just that 2-to-1 risk, 1-to-2 risk reward, right? So there's a lot of keys that happen, key moments and elements that as a day trader, you have to become a pro at this. That's why you see in my ideas on TradingView is I'm always talking about trend because from experience, I know that's what makes or breaks trades, right? Because to me, it's not about just the RSI down here or the MACD. That's what beginners are looking at, right? Because beginners are all about indicators. All you need is price and do your TA well. The indicators are just the extra like bonus to help you figure out what's happening, especially with momentum crashes, right? But you see here, this happens all the time. You get a big crash, just this low purple does not help you, right? It's not helping you buy because the overall prevailing trend is downtrending, right? And we know with crypto, if you have experience in crypto, that when bears are in full control and you get a huge, huge pullback, the first couple RSI, and this is a very advanced hint lesson, but the first RSI bounces are not the final bounces. It's not the end. And this is a situation where if you're seeing this happen on markets, I would zoom out a little bit. I'll zoom out a little bit. And like what I've been doing for the whole 2-3 hours right now is get your support levels. Because again, if you're zoomed in microscopic to only look at right here, you're not looking and thinking about, or a trader, not you guys, but a FOMO trader, a bad trader, or inexperienced trader, beginner is not understanding there's 20 support and resistance levels, support levels right in here in this blue circle that I'm circling here. So that's why you got to get that homework done beforehand, right? Before you even do a trade. So if you read a lot of courses and books, every teacher is probably, if they're smart enough, they're going to tell you that. Get your support and resistance and your homework levels done always before get your TA done before you start a trade, basically, right? FOMO is not doing any work and just getting influenced by outside factors, and then you just basically trade with your eyes closed with pure emotions. And if you ever play card games, like if you ever play Texas Hold'em or um, or poker, it's like you're on tilt, right? If you're on tilt and you go all in on a bad with bad cards, it's like that's the absolute worst thing a card player, poker player can do, right? So the psychology of poker kind of comes into trading. Sometimes you got to get off the table, get off the computer, and walk away, turn everything off. Sometimes you got to do that, right? Sometimes if you're not in the right mind and everything's wrong, like sometimes I have really bad days in my life, and I'm like, I'm not trading today, right? Or if I'm doing things bad and I'm like, wait a second, I'm reading the charts wrong, I will stop. I'm gonna stop and be like, I'm gonna stop for today, right? Or like I'm gonna I need to do my charts better, and so like I'll erase everything, right? Because being a day trader, the problem is you're zoomed in microscopic on your 1 minute, 5 minute chart, and right, you're just looking at it like this, and some people you're just looking at five candles, and it's like, wait a second, that's not tech, that's not um, I mean, it is TA, but it's not powerful, strong enough TA to protect you in the market, right? If you just look at it like this, it's like, ooh, it's something's happening, right? But if you look at a 1 hour, it's like, oh, actually, it's head and shoulders, and that means we're gonna go down, right? So you got to do. People have to do TA. So this was telling us we are gonna go down, but it's not gonna say we're gonna go down -20%. But that's what you got to do, right? So that's why you always see me on my on this channel. I'm always starting with long term. Why? Because if you zoom in with a microscope and without doing any homework, you're probably gonna get wrecked over time and just lose all your money. You're gonna lose every single trade and wonder why, right? So on Bitcoin, that's why you always see me, or on everything I do, that's why you always see me starting from way zoomed out, right? Way zoomed out. I'm looking at Bitcoin chart for like 6 years of data. I'm on a monthly chart right now. Where's the support and resistance? Resistance 60,000, support 34,000. I'm playing between these two big levels right now. Then we have from yesterday like 42,000, right? It's actually, let's do 45,000 because that's right at the middle point, right? I would set these levels up and be understand first before I do anything is like this is where we are in the market long term. This is where we are right now. Pandemic low was 4,000 basically, right? So we have to remember that number. The previous high of 2019 was 20,000, right? The support down here, which is actually upside down head and shoulders, was 30,000. So keep that in mind, right? The high we just hit today was 52,000, right? And the low we hit today was 43,000. So now we have these levels in our mind. Now you know it's on your chart. It's on your chart. And there's like some other ones in here, like 50,000, 37,000, right? But that's kind of too many numbers. But now you know, it's like that's basic support resistance, technical analysis levels, right? Then you're going to zoom in a little more, right? Now, how I would do this, like I always show people, is like, okay, what am I exactly looking at? Well, I know there's the all-time high, and we're looking at it right now. And my idea, that's why I said we're retesting the all-time high range. I should have said range so people understand. It's technically a range of 50,000 to 60,000. That entire yellow box is the resistance. So we just touched it yesterday. So now I understand that, right? And then I understand that we're playing between these two levels right here, blue and then this blue. Based upon all the support resistance I've done. You don't have to do as many numbers, lines as I do, but I'm showing you exactly how I think right now and all my experience, right? And from studying all those books, I'm putting everything I learned, combining it with my style, and this is how I do it. So, right, and this is we know how we're playing, right? Then you move into daily, right, and then you start doing analysis, and I would have seen, oh, we're losing RSI momentum, like I did in the first 30 minutes of this video. Then I know there's too many lines, but now I'm seeing, wait a second, there's some kind of double top here, so it's weak right here. Then in my mind, I would think if we're gonna lose this trend line, we're in big trouble, and we did. Then on the 1 hour, you see you have that perfect. Then you can use some of your tools, right? RSI bearish divergence, very large, over 50%. We're gonna pull back. I didn't say that yesterday, but I said we're gonna pull back yesterday, right? Topping out here, right at the resistance zone, loss of this trend line support, then panic selling and all this stuff. Now we're flagging to the right. Okay, even if you're a day trader, then if you're a day trader, you would have, if you're good at charts, you would have seen this. Head and shoulders, that's bad. Immediate. No need to question that. Head and shoulders, bad. Head and shoulders, bad, right? Loss of momentum on RSI, bad. Then this thing's gonna go down. And then you see the support here, right? And it's not, you start looking left on the left side. I thought my lights went out, my computer turned off. So the support on the left side, now you're looking at this support zone, okay, like on the left side, right here, right? So now I'm starting to think, okay, if we lose this, oh, we're in big trouble. 51,000, then psychological 50,000, we lost that, then 45, hit 45 right here. See, now we're hitting, where's 45? Down here, right? And then we stop there because bots push it all the way down to 43. That's why bots love to do that. Algorithms, they'll push it down as far as it can go, and then they'll stop. Right? So that's the thought process you gotta have on like anything you do in technical analysis. I know I'm going into like too much teaching mode right now. I'll do an educational stream someday. Just you know, it's just we had the flash crash right now. So I'm explaining to people if somebody got wrecked today day trading, these are some things to maybe think about. If we're swing traders and the investors who came in today and said they had a loss, it's like, well, then there's that risk management as well. And I'm not pointing anybody out. It's just these are common examples that happens. Sometimes happens to me too, right? If I do my TA wrong and I'm in the wrong mindset for that particular moment in time and day, I have losses too, right? So, but for me, I have more wins than losses by doing the risk management and doing TA really, really well. Like you can't just put one support line and that's not TA. You know what I mean? It's like you got to put some effort into it. Um, especially if you're day trading, because day trading you're gonna have to look at a lot of time frames to get into your whatever you're doing, 1 5 minute, 15 minute, right? So you're gonna have to do that. Okay, let's just check in with Bitcoin right now and then move on, and I'm gonna end because this stream went really, really long today. But it's a very special case, right? We had the flash crash today. So Bitcoin now on the 15 minute, we started like somewhere around here, right here in the stream. Okay. So this price action in this last white part over here in the past couple hours has happened. And the problem is we're not breaking above 47,529, right? And the immediate support is 46.5 and 45.8, meaning 45.8K, right? If we really wanted to draw something here on the technical analysis, all right, we have this resistance trend line on the top. That's very important for the 15 minutes. It's steep. There's actually a couple. You could draw this one too. So there's another longer term trend line, resistance trend line. So with the flash crash right now, you see we're consolidating here. The good thing, to get some positive mentality is we're stuck in these previously gray support zones that we drew earlier. Okay. So we are finding support over 40,000, 45,000. That is good. That is good. All right. So that's good. Lower low, lower low. But we just need to find the lower high in the larger context, right? Because this is kind of strange that it went from here. Oops. It went from here, lower low to lower high, basically no lower high, to lower low to basically a very, very small lower high. But I guess if you include the wick, it is a lower high, right? Low high, the bottom, way bottom here, and then here is the lower high. So you really want to watch this for the next 24 to 48 hours. Watch out for this. as a day trader, based upon all the long-term stuff we just did, right? We know our big levels are 50,000, 45, right, and our 43,000 support level down here. We have this general trend line. We know it's downtrending, right? Right. So yeah, anything could happen in the next 24, 48 hours of this week, right? Especially if because the big sell the event news was the El Salvador country uh, Bitcoin adoption started today, right, in their country, and the wallet had problems. So that's kind of a sell the news event. Or actually, it is a sell the news event, and it's the end because you have to realize that the beginning of this green relief rally was kind of that El Salvador adoption, right? And then we had FUD, news problems, over leveraged longs, bearish divergence, technicals, just everything coming together, shorts crushing, bots selling. It's all people getting afraid and selling, right? It's all happening. It's all happening, right? The only solace we have, if you're a bull right now, the only solace is, well, we did have support here. It didn't, like, we didn't crash down to 40,000. It stopped somewhere. So right now, the line in the sand, the big line in the sand is 43,000 and then 45,000. So 43, 45, 44 are the three big lines in the sand to the downside. I know I have a little bit too many lines here, but you guys get the idea, right? 1 hours. Yep, that W kind of failed. If you really are sensitive, right? The technical thing failed. So, right, this could see it's not, 5 RSI. So we could see a little bit more downside. It's possible. It's possible. And we're going into that, like, the early European session and some of the Middle East traders, they're going to wake up in a couple hours now, right? So we're going to see another reaction. Okay. So again, to close this stream out, all right, what happened with the flash crash today? I'm on the hourly chart right now. It's a good middle ground for everybody. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Is this the lower high? If it is, we are going to see more downside probably. Maybe a retest of this 44, 43 like that. If we lose this support. So the line in the sand right now is 40, if I could draw this right, 46,000. And the resistance on top is like 47,000, like whole numbers. All right. So this little bear flag here. But a bull case could be made is like, wait, are we trying to make some kind of upside down head and shoulders? There's a higher chance that could happen now because we just crashed, right? So this is some kind of ugly head and shoulders. Maybe we'll make the right shoulder in a couple hours. Neckline on the top, which is that resistance. And then at least 1 to 2, 3% up. It's possible on the neckline breakout, which would bring us up to like 48, 44 range up here. Okay, so I would really watch this right now if you're going to be awake. It's evening in my country now, so I'm going to have to get off soon. But, whoever is awake for like the next 4, 6, 8 hours is everybody's just looking right at this, staring right at this Bitcoin. And maybe this altcoin's popping and moving around too as well, whatever your favorite altcoin is. But we need to see some bull power. If we don't have bull power, we might be in trouble here, right? For the short term. But again, we could easily come down to this support level as the bottom of the triangle, and then maybe you'll see another bounce. Like you'll see a flash crash. I'm not flash crash, but you see some pullback happening right now, even as we're talking, right? But where would the earliest long entry be? Somewhere here, 464 in the green box, right? And then you target your top percent, so you're going to risk that 1% trade right there. Although it's very risky now because things could just totally crash, right? If it loses that, then you are going to lose more than 1% on this trade. So it's kind of risky to buy it. But the most aggressive bulls and longs are probably going to do something like that, when they're going to buy somewhere in this range down here. Like I know pros, they'll stagger their order, right? So yeah, so we're getting a bear breakdown. We got rejected from this as we're talking in live time, right? Down negative 1.4%. And again, why? If we need to get that RSI low reset. So it's probably going to pierce this low support trend line down here and then probably bounce. Unless you get strong bear selling and then we don't bounce here and then we're done like that. I'm talking about the bear rally. I mean, the bull rally's done. Okay, so I would just, if I'm a day trader, I'm just looking at this with my eyes right now, getting my position size, ready, and but for me, I'm personally not gonna trade because I don't trade this volatility. I already made money today, so I'm done. Right? I'm just I don't need to do anything for this whole month. Actually, this whole week, I'm done. Right? So actually, but I'm still gonna do charts and stuff like that. So that's why I'm doing this special stream today because this crazy action happened. And this is not this doesn't happen every day. So yeah, really want to watch out for that. And again, you see shorts attacking, bots selling, people selling, and you're gonna get a little relief bounce on a 1 minute. You hit the, but it's not over yet. You want to see a real pattern on that 1 minute RSI, and it's not quite the exact support level. We drew this earlier, so bots know they're programmed to hit that support level, right? How do they know target? It's already pre-programmed in there. If you look at the 5 minute trend, it isn't a 5 minute downtrend. In a larger 15-minute bear flag. So again, in conclusion, what we need is bulls need to hold the support for this whole entire week, basically. The bottom side here, 45, 46. Bulls need to save this with the bull power. This whole range, it cannot go lower than this. We have to draw a line in the sand if you're a bull and say it cannot go lower than here. And then what we want to see is let's get some bull volume back. Why did I turn the volume on? Right? There's no bull volume. People are so scared. They're stopped out and they're hurting right now. That's the psychology of the market. Not scared, but if traders lost too much money, they're not trading anymore. They went to sleep. Or if they're patient, they're just waiting and watching, waiting to strike. Right? Either or. So want to watch this, right? Watch it. If you're going to trade it, and again, this is just educational. Okay, I'm not giving any financial advice in this stream. It's all 100% educational. I'm using a real world example right now because it's what's happening in the markets right now. It's just 100% educational, right? A hypothetical trader would probably try to buy the support right here, right, and target the top side because somebody already did that 6 hours ago. Somebody already did that right here. And they made their 2%. And again, they sold, right? They sold. Evening star pattern, they sold. They're out, they're done. And then everyone knows, okay, run away, right? Made your profits, get out of there, right? And the bears are saying, my turn. And then they're going to short it down. That's the way trading works. So stuck in this bear flag sideways. I'm going to see some action here. Anywhere along here or in this blue box, anywhere. And hopefully bulls save it and start the trend change. That would be very nice to see over the next couple of days and week. And again, hope everyone has some happy trading. And I hope you guys learned something or this helped right now in this session because I usually don't give this much lessons in one video, but because of everything insanity that's happening right now, I'm just trying to help people. So so in conclusion, I hope everything I talked about helps everybody today. We looked at Bitcoin long term, medium term, short term. We looked at many altcoins that people requested. We didn't get a chance to look at stock markets, so maybe I'll end on that really fast. And then we talked about Bitcoin and we talked about risk management education for like 40 minutes, 30 minutes. We talked about um, position sizing. We talked about a little bit of trading psychology. We've talked about technical analysis. We talked about setups a little bit, all educational, of course. And we talked about some bull scenarios that needs to happen and some bear scenarios that needs to happen this week, this month, especially this week and next coming days, or else bears are going to take firm control and short it down. That's what bears have been waiting for a long time for this moment. Right, they waited what? They had to wait. They had to wait 2 months. They had to wait 2 months. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if it's 5:24, then just you got to get off. You got to get off. For me, it's evening, right? So if you got to get off, you got to get off. You know what I mean? Like, do what you got to do. So thanks so much. If people are gonna get off though, I just want to say, I just got to say though that I'm streaming on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch right now. If you like what you see, go ahead and drop a follow or subscribe on any of those. And I also have a free Discord I just opened. Okay, so if you I try to only live stream on Saturdays, but today's a unique case because of the what craziness that happened today. So if you like what you're learning, go ahead and join the free Discord now. It's gonna be free for now, and then eventually I'm gonna make a paid section. Eventually, I'm being totally transparent right now. So if you like what you're learning and you want to join the community for free right now, um, in the free in the free group, that's the link is in the profile. I have just some basic watch lists in there. If you want to make a request throughout the week for the next live stream, go ahead and do it in there. Have some stock ideas, crypto ideas, and there's a trading community room in there if somebody wants to chat. So that's in there. All right, I know I'm going super long and everybody wants to sleep. So hope everybody, um, has their wits about them this week. Like, let's have no FOMO, no fear. We just do TA well and our setups well, and we'll survive this. So everybody's going to be fine if they do, put in the homework and do the charts well and risk management really well. So hope you guys have a good day and week. I know we didn't get to do stocks, but if you go in the Discord, there's a little watch list in there. Anybody doing stocks, um, meme stocks, there's GameStop earnings tomorrow. That's all I'll say. We have GameStop earnings tomorrow. So watch out for that. And what's happening in S&P and Dow Jones, just watch out, everybody, because this can affect other markets. So we're watching Bitcoin very closely. Thanks so much for watching. And we're going to finally end it here at 3 hour mark. So see you guys next time, probably on Saturday. So just always remember, no FOMO. Peace. Bye.